week with my best friends. Some people say we have a problem, but every night I make a new best friend. And the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, love wrestling. It is 8 p.m. It is Thursday night. And you know what that means.
What does it mean? I don't ever know what it means.
It's another episode of Between Two Beards. Hope everyone is having a fine Thursday.
Is that because we have two beards?
I think so.
Our guest usually.
I think that was the shtick.
Is that what it means?
I think so. And tonight we do have a guest tonight who's going to be joining us for the wholeness of the entirety of this episode, who we are going to bring on here. He is a familiar face. He's been on here a whole bunch. He is I feel like he's become our resident football. Whenever we're talking, wherever we're talking some good wrestling and whenever we're talking some good football, we bring this gentleman on. But Crap Game himself, Jeff Hawkins, is here. He's in the back. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. We're going to talk about the week that was in wrestling, and we're going to have a full in-depth Super Bowl preview as well tonight. Our friend Banana King popping in, saying hello. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Look at the different graphics, Twitter, the whole world.
The whole thing changed, man. Yeah, we can add different things. I'm the only one that used it, so hopefully next week you get on board. Maybe Jeff used it. He's saying maybe. But basically it asked me what my name was, and then it asked me if I had a headline. So I kind of switched it so my name was my name and the headline was my tag. So I'm looking all fancy. We got Big Ben popping in, JPJ and Pluggo. Were legends, according to him. So anyway, Pluggo, before we get Jeff on here.
Headache giver dispenser. I'm on
There
board.
you go. Beauty. Love it. I love it. Before we get Jeff on here and we start diving into this.
Budget blower CEO.
I was going to say, I thought it was going to be something like that.
You put me on the spot. I couldn't think of things. Like I said, this week has been nuts.
You know, some of us come prepared and some of us don't. You know, it is what it is.
You showed up at 7:59.
And look at this. And I was still more prepared than you were. Crazy how that works. How you doing, Pluggo? Good to see you.
I'm all right. I'm good. Like I said, the world is a whole nother place since we left you here on Thursday with Phil. We were talking about how the Nets were putting it.
Literally, we were talking about the New Jersey Nets on this thing.
Jeff Hawkins thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron James is now the scoring king.
I mean, it was inevitable.
Attraction is officially destroyed.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. We're literally talking basketball to end the episode last week with Phil Lindsay, and we're talking about the Nets. And then all of a sudden, within the span of a week, the number 3 seeded Nets trade Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Incredible. What a time. What a time. I am a Boston fan, so I have nothing good to say about Kyrie Irving. Nothing. And I will never say anything good about that man. But holy moly, we got noobs saying, how we doing? How are you doing, friend? But enough of the delay. Let's do the damn thing. Let's get Mr. Jeff Hawkins. Oh, there we go. Crap. Podcast killer.
Podcast killer.
Podcast killer.
On the podcast circuit? Or you
arrive, wreck stuff, leave. That's my gig.
As I coined you earlier, our resident NFL expert.
I would say so.
Yeah, NBA I'm not gonna be so good on, but I can fake it. I can fake anything for 30 minutes, so I'm good.
Yeah. How do you feel about the number 3 seed Brooklyn Nets basically blowing up their season?
I think Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden should all have to be forced to be on the same team for eternity. And then the rest of us can move on with our lives. That's what I think.
Oh, well, Big Ben saying I'm a Toronto guy.
I am so done with. Well, I don't like Kyrie because he's a Duke guy, and I'm a Virginia guy.
It's fair.
And that's
I don't
also
like Kyrie because he's a piece of shit.
And I have
that's just me.
And also an anti-Semite, possibly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you know,
flat earther, anti-Semite. You know, ruins every team he's on.
Although your Celtics have a soft place in my heart because they got Sam Hauser and Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench, 2 good UVA guys who I am. So I'm big on that.
We gonna win the championship this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, do you ever think they just look in the mirror and go, "Hey, is it us?"
Maybe,
maybe because they go from they're always unhappy, they're always demanding trades, and it's like they never have that moment of self. I just remember I decided to go to Twitter to look at reactions about
The
of all
Durant trade?
people, Joe Harris
Oh yeah,
of the Brooklyn Nets because
Yeah.
I have a soft spot again, Virginia guy.
Yeah.
And
he's
and
been there.
all-
He's been there throughout all of this.
yeah,
He's been there
and
for a while.
I mean, it's like all the Nets fans are complaining. Why didn't we get rid of all these glue guys instead of getting rid of Durant and Harden and Kyrie? And I'm just like, actually, you know what? It should just be those four, and there should be no other 8 players on the team to help them at all. And then we'll see how happy they are.
Yeah, and they ended up
Because I'm
bringing
just
like
sick of
Spencer Dinwiddie back to the team. Like they got rid of him, and they bring him back. So like now they're a team full of those glue role-playing type
Kyrie
guys.
Irving
Speaking
and
of
Kevin
blue
Durant were both
guys,
unhappy
Brian Call from the
on
House
world
Slugs
champion
here.
teams. World championships were not enough to satisfy people. No,
You know
no.
the
I'm
funniest
not getting
part-
enough personal stats here for my Hall of Fame case. I
Yeah.
need to go somewhere. Kevin Durant's gonna be unhappy everywhere.
The
Yeah.
funny
Kyrie
part is
Irving's-
all of them asked for this.
Yes,
They all wanted
truly.
to be together.
yeah. Oh, we'll make a super team,
This is what
and then,
they
and then it becomes like the
wanted.
group Blind Faith, and it just dissolves.
Yeah, very bizarre. Very bizarre.
I mean, I
All
woke
right.
up. So, like, I woke up this morning, right? So, like, behind the curtain, Pluggo world, I had like a rough night. So, like, I chugged along for as much as Dynamite as I could. I passed out right around the main event. I woke up to Kevin Durant, a Phoenix Sun, and
Yep.
the Ass Boys as tag team champions. What the hell happened after I went
have
to
a-
bed at 9:45 last night? I couldn't make it any longer.
When I was
What?
big in the NBA, I was a Phoenix Suns fan, so and my parents still watch the games because they're in Scottsdale. But it's like one of those things where it's like it's not the same without Barkley and Chambers and
I was
Kevin
gonna say,
Johnson for
Yeah,
me.
Barkley,
you know?
Kevin Johnson, KJ. Ooh, all right, that's a throw.
Harley.
Smooth's in the house.
We got Smooth in the house saying, "Hey guys," he's saying, "Go KD." I mean, again, I don't have a problem with KD. It is what it is. I got a problem with Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah,
I got a problem with him, and that's just
At
a
least-
straight up Boston sports bias.
mm-hmm.
Dude was
Somebody say
in our
ass.
sold out arena on national television.
Brian back in the fold.
Yeah, on our national
I
television,
sure
on our
did
national
have,
TV
guy.
shows, telling us that he was going to sign a long-term deal with us, and then by the end of that season, it was everybody hates me. I can't stay here. Nobody likes me. Nobody wants me here. I gotta go. Blah 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 blah. Fuck yourself.
Can I
That's
troll
what
the
I said.
Canadians real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we stop with the we need to belt Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber talk, please?
Well, we're gonna dive. Yeah, I do
No,
want to
no.
talk about
It's
this.
I must
madness.
say, at least, yes, we'll talk about that. But I wanted to say, at least your team didn't trade for a guy that shit all over your franchise in a podcast.
Wait, what happened there? You're a
The
Houston Rockets
the
fan.
Rockets got John Wall back. Now, granted, I think they're going to buy him out, and he's going to go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
But that dude scored.
That dude's
third.
been a malcontent everywhere too. I'm
But
tired.
they-
of
and
John
that, I guess those are the type of players in all leagues. Those are the
But
type
he-
of players that I have no time for.
It's
Like,
like 2 weeks
bro,
ago.
what's
He's
the common
on air.
denominator here? It's you. You
And-
go
and-
everywhere, and everywhere's the problem. Well, guess what? It
Yeah.
might be fucking you, buddy.
Yeah,
It might be you.
You need to because I had to separate this for a while because again, as a Bengals fan, we had the worst franchise in football, so everybody would complain about it. You'd always be like, "No, screw you," but then you go, "Nah." Corey Dillon had kind of a point.
Yeah.
Carl
Like,
Pickens had kind of a point. You know,
you
that
know,
kind
at
of
some
thing.
at some point, and it's not always easy, but at some point you got to look in the mirror and you have to understand that, hey, you know, maybe it's not everybody else is why I'm having all these
Yeah.
problems. Maybe it has something to do with me.
We
You
got
know?
some people in the chat's ears burning. Have guys saying, "Does somebody say ass boys?" Big saying, "The fuck did I just hear about Sami Zayn?" Yes, Smooth. I was in your chat. Good stuff, buddy. He streams too. Streams some games.
Oh yeah,
Check
for sure.
him out on Twitter, Twitch,
All right.
Twitter,
Well,
whatever. We're on
Where
Twitch
are
right
we gonna?
now.
I mean, obviously we're gonna have a full on Super Bowl preview
We
later
can
on
talk
to end
about
the
this
show.
Sami stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I want to talk about some Dynamite that happened last night because I thought that was a truly and spectacular television show that was on last night. I thought it was very, very good. The ending left some people sour, which I get to an extent, but I actually kind of liked it.
Some people. don't
I
think
didn't
any-
mind it. I didn't
don't
mind
think
it. But we
anybody
can
was
we can
happy.
dive in. I know people. Are you not supposed to boo the ass
People
boys winning the
hate
tag titles
I don't
shittily?
get it. I just
Like what I missed the concept of where like heels do heelish things and win titles, and everyone's
Yes.
like, this sucks. It's like, it's supposed to suck. You're supposed to be upset that they won the tag titles.
That I would book. Well, of course not, because you'd book everybody to have a trophy. And
yeah, I just don't on some of the minds. I feel like everybody nowadays individually watches wrestling shows with the mindset that they're booking this for me.
I think it's because we absolutely love the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is insanely over. Scissor me, daddy.
Well, no, I think
that for a YouTube short, Zach. Scissor me, daddy.
Yeah, there we go.
Everybody
Ben
wants to have.
Everybody got that X-Pac heat.
Yeah,
it's that X-Pac heat.
It's that weird mix of everybody wanting the happy ending, but also everybody being kind of tired of when WWE would just do heat type of things. And really, I mean, look,
that guy fucking loved it.
The wrestling of my youth was always about the heat spot. So it's one of those things I'm kind of used to it. A little bit.
You're saying don't include me in that week.
I
know, yeah, I get it. And I think that's true what you're saying, Jeff. I feel like we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned as wrestling fans because 20 years there was one ball game in town here.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. Heat just to get heat. Oh, the heat, brother. The heat. Like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So we were just so conditioned that this is just how it goes. Like, this is just how it goes. So when you see something that happened last night, like, the point was that we were all supposed to be sour that the Ass Boys won the title.
If they think this was bad, wait until Billy Gunn turns heel next week.
That's what I'm saying. Next week or at Revolution, whenever the rematch happens.
When the rematch happens.
Billy Gunn actually, which I thought was going to happen last night, but when Billy Gunn actually turns heel and now helps the Guns
because he's proud
retain, because he's proud that they stepped up to him and did what they had to do to win the title, whatever. People are going to be fucking crying as well. It's just like, this is what sometimes in wrestling and sometimes in life, the bad guys fucking win.
I'll say this is,
like
I was
Empire Strikes Back is the best of the Star Wars films and the bad guys win.
Yeah. Like sometimes the bad guys win, guys. Like it happens.
You need it for the story. You need it for the story.
Yes, you do. It makes the good guys winning down the line sweeter. That's what it's for. Anyway.
Guys
the Patriots winning was always somewhat good.
Stuff is
that was
predictable.
the best. It was the best times, Jeff.
Yeah,
the bad guys win.
Yeah.
When something unexpected happens, people get upset. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what Have Guy says. People get upset
think.
when the stuff is predictable, but when something unexpected happens, people get upset.
Yes.
Go figure.
Wrestling. Nobody hates professional wrestling more than wrestling fans. I'll say this. AEW has the benefit of the doubt so far with me that I think they're going to tell a good story, so I'm not worried about the decision. Yes, we all love the Acclaimed. Even if, let's say, they were just doing the heat for the sake of heat move, AEW can't always hit. Sometimes you got to miss. So if this was a miss, so be it. But they have shown in the past their ability to either make it make sense or right the wrong, so to speak. So I'm interested to see where it plays out. We still got the Billy Gunn, like you said, he could turn heel. I'm looking forward to that. There's still meat on the proverbial bone, so to speak.
Yeah, big time.
So let's not jump off. But again, it's just because it's a super beloved tag team, organic. Everybody loves them, and they just didn't have it last night. So I guess we'll move it. And I'll ask you two this. I did want to ask you this. I've noticed a trend maybe the last 3 weeks or so. Is it just me, or is AEW, and I'm not this isn't a negative, but is it become increasingly more it feels like a more physical 2 hours of television the last 3 to 4 weeks?
I just think that's because of Bryan Danielson.
There is some ass beatings going on this program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. It's just it's for me. I think they're trying to differentiate themselves in that way. It's just the things that aren't working is the fact that they don't know how to build a feud in AEW worth a damn. I mean, and that's done mostly with your mouth, and that's where the lack of people who can cut promos in AEW is a real issue for me, at least.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. I feel like right now, currently, especially, and we're going to talk about Bryan Danielson here, because yesterday was 7 years to the day that he had to retire on WWE television, and then he went out and had one of the better matches in Dynamite history with Roosh, where they were destroying each other. And you want to talk about physicalness, they were obviously he was busted open and stuff like that and things like that, but they were physical, slapping the shit out of each other. Like just, man, it was a clinic between those two guys. And me, I'm going to be full transparency. I have not seen much of Roosh other than what I've seen on AEW. So for me, this was by far his best showing, without question. And Danielson's just been on a run, just a run, like a special run of what he's doing. And now we're going to see him in a 60-minute Iron Man match with MJF, which MJF will beat him, and that will be fine. But I thought that match last night was good. Like
I
really,
want
really
more
good.
out of Danielson from the non-wrestling perspective, though.
I would agree with
this
that.
MJF thing, and it seems like he has no interest in that, and has had no interest in that since coming into AEW. It's just I want to have great matches, but I don't want to be a star. And you're just kind of looking at him going, "You're Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, like you are a star. You are the star.
Yeah.
Buy in and help this feud a little bit, other than I'm a great wrestler." Look, I get that could be a basis for a feud. Don't get me wrong. I just want him in on this verbal build a little bit for the pay-per-view type of a thing versus getting half-assed trapped in a medical room last night.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, MJF had some shit to say yesterday.
well, he was on like 3 times last night. Which
he was
I actually-
littered throughout the show.
I
so.
defended because like Crockett used to do that all the time, where Dusty or Ric Flair would cut like 2 promos in the course of a 605 show or something like that. So I was fine with that. Everybody's like, he's still on too much. No, give me the champ twice.
Yeah, he's the champ. He should be on the show. But I do agree. And like, obviously, I think what do we have? We have 3 Dynamites now until we get to Revolution. And last night was the last match that solidified that the Iron Man match is happening. So I'm hoping over the next 3 weeks, obviously, I'm assuming they're doing that to give Bryan some rest here, because he's been having fucking physical bangers for 5-6 weeks straight now, every week, just going crazy here. So I assume it'll be to give him some rest, but I would like to see, like Jeff said, the character side of Bryan Danielson over the next 3 weeks. Cut some promos, go back and forth with MJF. Like, let people know that, like, you're not just here to have great matches, that you're here because you want to be the top guy. Like, you want to be the champion. So I'm hoping over the next couple weeks. Well, that's the problem, is do we know? You know?
But I mean, I don't think anybody expects him to win at Revolution. I don't think there's a single person. He's Bryan fucking Danielson. And I have 0.0% chance that he wins.
I agree.
Maybe 0.1.
I agree. And then this just comes to, and look at
What's that look, Jeff? You think he's going to win?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, I was reading my phone because it's like
I thought you were like, I was like, what the hell?
No, it's their man armed with gun, 0.1 mile away from you. I was like, oh,
oh, great.
That's
Love
kind of a
that.
thing. Gotta love Los Angeles.
If Jeff is
Man
on-
pushing
Jeff
a
goes
wheelchair.
off-
That's how but he has a gun too, and you're just kind of like, that's kind of on brand.
That's interesting.
No, look, all of this is to make MJF a more credible champion, so I'm fine with that. And I think also the match last night did that in some ways. I actually enjoy watching MJF as a base for other people. Is he the greatest technical wrestler in the world? No, but he's a great heel seller wrestler for a baby face, and that's what I really enjoyed last night about the Takeshita.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I was gonna lead right into that. They had a very good match to open the show, which I think, last night MJF has been a day 1 AEW competitor, and last night was the 19th time that we've saw him wrestle.
Get them.
So he's been there since day 1, and the match that he has in a couple weeks at Revolution with Daniel Bryan will be the 20th match in his AEW tenure. And I think that, again, goes perfectly well into his character, because when he wrestles, it's a big deal, because he does not wrestle often.
Yeah.
And then also when he wrestles, and commentary, Excalibur, Taz, and Shivani did a great job last night of saying, as much as we hate this guy, every time he wrestles, he shuts us up. and he proves to everyone that he can go and he can handle his own, and he usually makes it work, you know?
I like the world champion being a special attraction.
100%.
I think part of what hurt Moxley this last time as champion was he was on every week, wrestling a match, bleeding for no reason, that kind of a thing. And while I like Moxley matches, it was like one of those things where it's like absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also a little bit very old school where it was rare to see the champion wrestle on
You didn't
TV.
see Hogan on
or
wrestling
even
every
Flair
week.
for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a special attraction. So I dig that.
I think with
I do
the
too.
Mox run, though, the last run, I feel like they were trying really hard to beat it over our head that the interim title didn't matter. And then when they finally just gave it to him, they were like, we've got to prove that our world champion matters, to try to like mask the CM Punk thing. But you're absolutely right. I mean, MJF, I'm cool with it. I love it. Takeshita. I'm in love with that man. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
He's a main eventer, future main eventer. That match served two purposes. It served the purpose of continuing how MJF always gets the job done, even though we all hate him. And it showed that Takeshita belongs in that top of the card main event world championship picture, because he held his own and he brought MJF to the brink of defeat a few times. And MJF had to struggle to get out of that match and pull off the victory. And I think that's what that match was for, to elevate Takeshita even more, because he's been super over and gets more over every time we see him. And then it also, like Jeff said, it proved the point of like MJF and the way he sells in his matches and makes it look like. And I'll let you go, Jeff. I know you want to say something.
No, but it reminds me of another point I made. I do a Dynamite show afterwards on another network. The fact that MJF won that match clean also gives him some tough guy credibility and some credibility going into a match with Danielson, where Danielson's been saying, oh, you're a flake, you're afraid, you're blah, blah, blah. No, what you just saw is he has the ability to win a match clean, as opposed to, say, because that's one of the more overused tropes to me in wrestling, is that the heels always cheat to win, as opposed to they cheat when they have to type of a thing. So you get all these cowardly heels that you never really buy into, as opposed to, say, I mean, like, again, my favorite crew growing up were the Horsemen.
Yep.
And the Horsemen always prided themselves on, we are the most skilled, but we'll sometimes cheat to win type of thing.
If we have to, we'll take care of business to get it done. And again, I think this is, and with MJF, it kind of goes into the promo that we'll talk about, where he kind of, he's in the back.
Crime?
Yeah. Basically.
I can't believe people reacted the way
Oh
they
my
did
God.
in
It was
promo.
such an overreaction. I was like, guys.
Did you guys see that? Like, I saw some stat somewhere that the police department.
Yeah, someone was calling cops there.
Like
for some reason.
300 people called in.
Like,
saying,
come on. What do you guys have? 300 people? You don't have anything fucking better to do with your lives?
Like, I mean,
Jesus, what are we doing, people?
Tom Lawler.
What are we doing?
Said my sister died in a wreck, and also, hey, if you're getting this from Rico Rodriguez story, blah 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 blah. I'm like, there was one guy that MJF needed to clear that with for me, and that is if Mark Briscoe were in the building.
Correct.
You go to him and go, hey, I'm
You
doing
cool
the
if I talk
thing about
about
car accident. Are you
Yeah.
okay with that?
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody could just shut up about the
What-
coincidence.
Which Mark
Jesus.
was in the building because he's
Yeah, he's
he
going
was
to
on
be on
Rampage.
He's going to be on Rampage.
so. But yeah, like I was just sitting there, just like you're watching a wrestling program.
It's a great
talk
wrestling
about how
promo.
wrestling is.
I can't believe the
heel
offended me.
Yeah, what the hell?
How
can he talk like that? Because he's an asshole. His character.
Sheriff's department.
His character is he's a scumbag. He said it in the promo. I'm a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's a scumbag piece of shit. That is the character. Well, guess what? A scumbag piece of shit would do something like he said he did. What are we doing? Like, why are we? What? Like, come on now. It's a
I
fake.
to be ironic detachment.
If you're in a movie theater,
heels.
if you're in a movie theater seeing a movie and someone on the screen kills somebody else, you call the cops? You call the cops? No, you don't. You know why? Because you're watching a fucking movie. Because it's not real. Well, guess what? Wrestling ain't fucking real. Calm the fuck down.
What?
What are we doing? Wrestling's not real, Pluggo. Exactly. Calm
Real
down,
to me,
everybody.
damn it.
Everybody, calm down.
Oh, but I want it to be. I want it to be more real. I want people to. I want to go back to the
down.
days where they were trying to stab people at shows.
I watched The Last of Us last Sunday, and when he killed somebody, I was like, I gotta call the Haverhill Police Department where I live. This guy just killed somebody on my TV screen. What are we doing? What are we doing? Good Lord.
Reminds me of back in the day when the NWO invaded and they like darted Rey Mysterio.
Oh, Rey
in
Mysterio.
a
Yeah.
truck,
Yeah.
and people were calling.
Oh my God. What a time.
I just spit all over everything.
You do that multiple times a week, or like multiple times like a month.
It's
at
a
least.
great. It's a great gimmick.
It is,
a
but I
great
can't
gimmick.
imagine the cleaning afterwards is great.
It takes some time. I put some
Yeah.
work into it. Luckily, it's just water. There's not a lot of like sticky cleanup
Yeah.
or anything, you know.
Yeah.
So keep it. clean.
Man almighty. Well, I know we glossed over it, but are you feeling good, Jeff, about the Guns, the Ass Boys, as the new tag team champions?
I would love nothing more than for the Guns to go out there and have banger of matches now, as opposed to cheating type of things to prove that they're a good tag team. That's really what I kind of want. I've wanted one of these young tag teams to do something. And I think out of all the teams right now, at least, I think the Ass Boys have the best chance of doing something with it. I mean, they've had underrated matches, and they're underappreciated because everybody looks at their dad and thinks their dad's the star of the team, but they're actually, I mean, like Austin's really
actually
good.
okay. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
And I want them to do something Top Flight and Private Party haven't done, and that is have a run of matches as opposed to like one spot fest that and everybody goes, oh, look at that, they're the future of the business type of thing. I want them to have a nice lengthy run. I want them to have a nice build. Yep. I actually don't want their father to be part of this trio, to be honest with you, because I want them to get over on their own because
isn't that why he left them?
They're knocking 30, or if they're not knocking 30, they're above 30, at least one of them. It's like, dude, it's time to get out of the shadow of daddy and make your own career here, guys. And I want them. I want credibility out of the Ass Boys. Trust me. I love the Acclaimed. But the Acclaimed are also, to me, they're the New Age Outlaws of AEW. They're the Enzo and Cass in some ways of AEW. They get over on their entrance, and they are underappreciated as wrestlers. They've gotten better. Trust me, I'm not knocking their wrestling ability at all.
Yeah.
But they got the tag team titles at a time when you had a killer tag team division. The Guns get it now, and your tag team division is kind of in flux a little bit because you have the Young Bucks associated with the 6-man, along with also like you kind of have Death Triangle in that 6-man loop. You have the House of Black in there, and so you have FTR taking a sabbatical. You have the Best Friends on week after week, and they're a little overexposed. And then you have you don't have a lot of great tag teams there. You have some good tag teams, you have some solid ones, but you don't have a lot of great ones. So this is a chance to kind of rebuild it a little bit. Give them a feud with a Top Flight or something like that. To me, I think that's the way to go, as opposed to putting them with teams that have. Like, I think they're building to giving the belts to FTR. I
think that's what they're going to do here. I think they have a rematch with the Acclaimed. Billy actually turns and sticks with the Guns, and then I think it leads to the FTR.
Yeah,
doing the thing.
But I mean, I think this is also a chance to get. Private Party is not available, but Top Flight is right now, and that would be a nice little. That'd be a nice little young guys type of undercard tag feud, so to speak. I mean, they don't need the belts, but they have the belts, and it's nice. But while you get, the 6-man, the trios title off of the Young Bucks, and you clear the way for some feuds and things like that, I have no problem with the Guns having the titles, to be honest with you.
I absolutely don't either. And I think, you said you want some credibility for the Guns. I think giving them the titles gives them kind of automatic.
They won the titles in a WWE way,
which is very true. But I think at least giving them the titles automatically elevates them a little.
Yeah,
they're elevated. Now we'll see where they go. If they end up losing it in 2 weeks back to the Acclaim, then this is all really for naught, depending on the story. But I think them getting the titles automatically elevates them to a different level because they are the champions now, even though they won it shittily. But yeah, now we need to see a couple credible wins, whether it is over a team like a Top Flight or a team like, I don't know, Butcher and Blade. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the teams
Butcher
that
and
are
Blade
still
would be
there.
fine. You
Oh,
do
yeah,
heel on heel
100%.
thing. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
And I love Butcher and Blade.
I actually liked when they showed that faction with Butcher, Blade, Bunny, Kip, and Penelope. When they showed the 5 of them on screen, I was actually like, yeah, I could get behind that. I could
Have
get
a
Give
nice
me
behind that
Jungle
group right
Hook
there.
back, damn it.
What is it?
You'd have the guns to be Jungle
They
Hook. I'm
broke
here
that
for
up
that
too
too.
soon.
Yeah,
They
like
broke
just
it up
give them.
too soon. I think it's dead.
Yeah, it
Hook-
probably is.
Hook did a vignette all by himself. like
Well,
a
yeah,
thing all
Jungle
by
Boy a
himself.
couple weeks ago said I'm going for singles gold and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, like,
Mrs. Pluggo's in the house. Hi, honey.
yeah.
And
well,
in fact,
yeah.
I also think you should put the guns back with Stokely.
I think that would be okay too.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay too.
I mean, you got
Speaking-
Moriarty and Ethan Page not doing anything. Let them have a run at it. Big Bill, like he ain't doing much either. Throw him. I mean, whatever.
So you want interfirm
Yes,
feuds?
yes. Why not? Why not?
They were in a group.
Little
together.
jealousy. Like if you're Ethan Page and Lee Moriarty from a strictly like standpoint of like we're phenomenal wrestlers too. We're not getting the gold.
Really,
Like,
I just want
so
the Outrunners to win it next
Yeah.
week. That's
Oh
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
like-
Outrunners, man.
I'm all
Love
for
it.
chaos in my professional wrestling, so I'm down.
Yeah, and we mentioned Top Flight.
Top
They
Flight
had themselves
rules.
quite a trios match last. AR Fox, man.
Yeah, I think the whole point was to get AR Fox over.
Yeah, and they did, in my opinion. Like he stood toe to toe with Kenny Omega.
Because
in
a
that match
lot
for
of people
little
don't know AR Fox because
Yeah.
Montez Ford has stolen his entire offense and they don't know that.
bit.
And because I've watched AR Fox matches in PWG and
Oh my God.
his signature spot is that jump over the turnbuckle and land,
Yeah, like
and-
over
and
the
somersault
corner, like
planche.
dive.
And-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
when
yeah.
Montez Ford took that, I go, people are going to think that AR Fox is copying him, but really,
Yeah,
The other way around.
but he stood toe to toe with Omega
yeah.
for a lot in that match, and I think that match did a whole hell of a lot for AR Fox, and that's a dude that's been on the indies for 15 something years. I've watched him all across New England in fucking high school gyms and all over these places having some of the best matches. I saw an Evolve show at a gym with 200 people where it was him versus Keith Lee, and it was people were standing up on their feet by the time that match ended. You know what I mean? Like,
his match in California would always be like a 6-man with like ACH and Ricochet
yeah,
or Cedric or
Mhm.
I think no Swerve wasn't in it, but on the other side would probably be the Young Bucks or what's I always want to call him Evan Bourne, but
Evan
Matt
Bourne, Matt
Sydal.
Sydal,
Matt
yeah.
Sydal or something like that. You'd have the high flyer party match, and that
Yeah.
would be
And
I just got scolded, by the way, in the text message thread with Mrs. Pluggo for not jumping in the first time you put it on the screen.
Well,
But you boys were making
people were
great-
talking.
You were
Yeah, we
making
can't.
great points. But I
Yeah.
love you, Mrs. Pluggo. You know you're the light of my life.
I love you too, Mrs. Pluggo.
Yeah, Jeff Hawkins loves you. What more do you
No, I
need?
just-
I'm about to kick my
She's
cat
gonna-
off this
she's gonna-
desk.
That's caused some trouble there in the Pluggo marriage.
Eh. When you're married
But-
to me, trouble comes in.
All right, let's tweak some Canadians.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Sami Zayn is
Oh.
a great story,
Okay, yeah, we can transfer to WWE because I do want to talk about the Heyman Cody promo as well.
which was
So,
fantastic. I
Oh
thought.
my God.
I'll tell you the most
Jesus.
fantastic part of it. Look, I understand people think that this is the time to belt Sammy. And I love Sami Zayn. I love El Generico. He's one of my favorite performers. He turned this bloodline story into something fantastic.
Yep.
But there's what's good for the story versus what's good for business.
Mhm.
And I am of the opinion that giving Sammy the titles is like having the Carolina Panthers sneak into the playoffs and making the Super Bowl and winning. It's a good story, but it overall hurts football for the most part.
Yep.
It makes the entire season not worth it or whatever. And look, and plus WWE doesn't know how to tell that story. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. It has nothing to do with Sammy necessarily. It has to do with the fact that he works for a company that has no idea how to tell this story because they look at a guy like him and they go, how can he be an ass kicker? Look at him. He's skinny, he's thin, that kind of a thing. And he doesn't fit central casting. But the number of people who are like, they need to call an audible here and belt Sami Zayn. I'm like, you guys are nuts. They're building for the Mania thing, and I don't even know if they're gonna belt Cody there. But
I'm having second doubts about that too. We can dive into that when we start. But specifically with Sami Zayn. All right. To me, as amazing, and I've, as amazing as this blood story has been, the story's always been about Jay and Sami.
Yeah.
It's always been the story.
Uh-huh.
Roman's the leader. He's the head of the table. So he's obviously involved in the things that the bloodline do. But the crux of the Sami portion of the bloodline story has always been about Jay. Jay didn't trust him. Even when he was winning over everybody else, the story was Jay was like, no. And then the story was when Roman started doubting him, Jay turned a corner. And Jay started, nope, this guy's with us. And what happened? He hits the Roman with the chair at the Rumble. And what's the main thing we do? He turns around and he says he's sorry to Jay. And Jay says, what the hell are you doing, man? I said you were my brother, man. What the hell are you doing? The whole story's been Jay and Sami.
It goes even further back than that because Jay was the guy who was trying to convince Jimmy to get on board.
Mm-hmm. Jay was the first one that Roman tortured when he was becoming the head of the table.
Jay has
this
always
character of Roman started with Jay.
He has always
started
been
with Jay.
Fredo Corleone, so to speak, of the family in terms of the most impressionable member of the family and things like that. And so, and so this whole story, and to me, the story probably should have been that Sami tries to get Jay to turn on Roman eventually. I thought that would have been good.
What the hell? It's usually me.
I kicked him out.
Him out?
I'm done with him.
That's it. JPJ and his never mind.
Patriot stuff.
That was my cat. My bad.
Your cat. But what I was saying is that to me the story should have been Sami trying to turn Jay against Roman at some point.
Well,
and
I think that's what they should. And they say that it's happening in a chamber. We got two
they're
weeks?
trolling Montreal. WWE loves to troll Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to be a Montreal screw job.
Oh, what's going to happen is Jay's going to show up and Jay's going to cost Sami and realign with the bloodline. And then that's where you're going to get the story heading to Mania, where it's and I bet you Sami will get the shit kicked out of him. KO will be the knight in shining armor this time. And that's how you go to Mania.
Jay's going to turn right at the moment of truth, when Sami has him, and everybody thinks that title's coming back to him.
Yep. And the crowd is ready to knock the roof off that building, and Jay's going to go,
I mean, I was even thinking maybe a Dusty finish where they have him win, and they go, no.
Yeah.
Because Jay was in the ring, or because this, that, and the other. And then Adam Pearce comes out and strips him of the title. So they don't necessarily have to do that in Montreal.
Yeah, and because I got booted out, I missed Hab Guy's comment, but I know he said something like he's starting to hope Cody loses or something like that. I can't pull it up; it's not there for me.
I got you, fam. It says I'm starting to hope Cody loses in Mania to set off a year-long mental anguish of failing at his goal and trying to get back the next Mania to fulfill his dream.
Okay, so what do you do with Roman in the meantime?
But here's the
thing,
like,
and that's the
whatever
thing.
you want. He doesn't have to wrestle. Like you make him an attraction. Brock Lesnar did it for years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we were doing this whole thing to get Rock there, and then Rock decided, that doesn't work.
I told all y'all, Rock wasn't coming. Everybody's like, it's Rock. It's Rock.
Well, that was the goal up until a couple weeks ago, where he said he wasn't going to be in shape.
No, I got to do my XFL.
Yeah.
We got to get an XFL preview going.
To me, it's one of those things where I am starting to have more doubts about it, but I do think Cody probably wins the belts at Mania. I feel like that.
Or wins a belt.
Or wins a belt if they do it a different thing. I don't know, but I just feel like for who they have on the roster, for the way things have been built, Cody seems to be the most logical
Have you seen
person.
He's a star. He's a star.
Yes.
The starting of the groundswell of like people already shitting on the Cody Rhodes title.
Yes,
but
and it's all Sami people. I'm just like, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. Stop it.
I've argued it. I've said it. I think Sami and Roman was the match, and I don't think Sami needs to win. I think you'll do something crazy, like he'll get that win and they'll restart the match type shit. That's where I think it's going to happen.
Well, the thing that WWE
He's going to get the win, and they're going to be like, oh, no, Roman's foot was on the rope or something. Restart the match, and then he loses it.
WWE has failed, and they have 2 weeks to rectify this, but they've failed to convince you that Sami Zayn is an ass kicker. that can.
They only have a week. It's next.
They had him jump him, and he's crazy. But I want Sami to be in full control and to have confidence and to go in there and make you doubt.
He should be saying things like, "This whole time I've been in your bloodline, I've made cracks. I've got things that you don't even know about." Like, he should be playing with. You're absolutely right. They're not doing that, so I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get emotional. He's going to be dumb baby face. He's going to go to Jay, and Jay's going to screw him. So
and I think that's the way they're going to do it because it's the easiest story to tell. But I do agree with both of you. I feel like he should next week on Raw, on SmackDown, or Raw, whatever the show they're going to be on both, for crying out loud. He should cut that promo that goes, "Hey man, like I've been inside with you for the last 8 months or whatever the hell it is. Like I know what's going on. I know." The inside stories. I know your weaknesses. I know.
Lie a little. Go, hey.
Yes,
like Heyman told me some things. While
exactly. Yeah, create some doubt. Yo, Jay me and Jimmy got the handshake. Like me and Jimmy, we talk about their concerns, their whatever. Like I know more than you think I know. I know how to crumble this. Like you're messing with the wrong guy. Like whatever. Like I do think there is room for that type of promo that would then at least create some doubt where it's like, oh shit, Sami has been a part of this for, he might be telling the truth. He might know some of the stuff that maybe Roman doesn't think he knows. And,
I got drunk with Jay one night.
We went out we used to, hey, when you went back to the fucking palace, the three of us with Solo would go partying and they would tell me shit and they would say what was bothering them or what they were concerned about and shit like that. Like Solo
didn't say shit.
But the other two,
he was at the casino like this.
Yeah, I just feel like there is room for that where, like Jeff said, you can create some. He has been a part of it. Maybe he does know. I don't know.
But for to go back to the other thing that we were talking about, the thing that made that Cody Heyman promo so great,
spectacular, was
the end for me because look, it got the overwrought, real lifeness in there, which was great for the hook.
Mike
Roman, and you knew he wishes Roman was his son,
and you knew that Heyman was going to drop that bomb too for the twist. But the dismount by Cody, where he just goes, he shakes the hand, and goes, "Everybody's trying to make this personal, and I just want to win a wrestling match."
Yep.
And I went, "That's great." That as opposed to getting mad and buying into the trolling, goes, "I'm just trying to win a wrestling match, and everybody's trying to make this personal." Well, I'm going to make it personal for your boy. What he should have done, though, is he should have helped the Sami program a little bit by saying, "And if Sami doesn't beat your boy, I'm going to beat him." That kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought that was two professionals that have been doing it for a long time that know what they're doing. And
and Cody had to learn. He had to learn how to tell that kind of story because in AEW sometimes he'd get a little long-winded and he'd get a little full of his own BS at times. He cured racism, that kind of thing.
Remember that?
Yeah, and I was waiting for Brandy to come out and go, "Bitch, did someone say it was open mic night?"
Yeah, bitch, did someone say this was open night, Mike?
To Heyman, that's what I'm waiting for. And just Heyman's look when that happened.
Yeah.
But no, that was a fantastic piece of business. Look, everything concerning Roman has been great. The problem is now they need to work on some of these secondary stories, especially whatever the hell they're going to be doing with Becky and Bayley at Mania.
I was going to say, I think it should carry to Mania with those two.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what
I would have ended the match. No, it's going to be like the Legends 6-person thing. And I think
I think it's going to be what Lita and Trish.
Lita Trish and Becky and Becky versus Damage Control
or something like that.
They take the titles off of Damage Control before getting to Mania so that they can give them to Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. Well, we haven't really talked to you since the Royal Rumble. So, obviously we know the Cody thing. We discussed it. So how do we feel about Rhea Ripley choosing Charlotte and kind of trying to go for some revenge for Mania a couple years ago?
I'll let you in on some internals because since November, it hadn't been penciled in that it was going to be Rhea and Becky and Charlotte and Bianca. And I think those are stronger programs, to be honest with you. I think the problem with Rhea and Charlotte is that Charlotte's a terrible babyface.
Awful.
And she's never really had to show ass as a baby face at all. So selling for Rhea is going to be very interesting. They could have brought in somebody like a Madison Eagles or something like that. So that someone who was bigger that Charlotte would have to work from underneath a little bit to do. But Charlotte's promos have never been, getting the chance. I'm the queen. I'm the best. I was made for this. Woo, and she's never really improved all that much. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks they might just turn the Judgment Day babyface at some point to help out this story, because there is no, and plus Rhea actually is like, yeah, I've gotten better. She's the babyface of this thing,
Truly
trying to prove and overcome something. And then and then on the other side with Bianca, it's like, well, who do you put her against?
It's gotta be Asuka, right?
I would say, and Asuka's a great buzzsaw.
And Asuka should beat her. I think Asuka should beat her.
Well, I'll give you another point, because she's been downplayed so often. I could see them giving this to Raquel Rodriguez, and then having that, either that or even getting Becky in this chamber somehow and having Becky win it and redo Bianca and Becky, because it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, you have choices with Bianca. I just find the Rhea Charlotte thing baffling in many, many ways.
Yeah. I told you, it should have been Rhea and Belair.
Yeah, Rhea and Bianca. Hab guy saying, all I want is for Rhea when she wins to hoist Dom up on her shoulder like Macho Man did with Miss Elizabeth.
Dominic has been a comedy revelation.
Yeah, Dominic, I love it. I'm all in, and it is just wonderful stuff.
When he gave in to the stupid, it became great.
Yeah, and when he got hit with that, he was up on that glam slam, Mommy! And he had that stupid face, Mommy! And there was the perfect sign above him that said, Eddie is your real father or real dad or something. Oh my God, it was spectacular. Yeah, but I agree with you. Once he kind of gave in and was like, I'm going to lean into the stupidness of what's going on here. I'm going to lean into the dumb here. It's been
hard
fantastic.
Time. It's
you don't know what it's like. I've been doing hard
30 minutes in a drunk tank or something like that. You would have never
survived inside, man. Like when he's leaning in, it's wonderful.
I wanted the whole Oz treatment. I wanted the theme.
Yeah. It is truly really good. I think it's got to be Asuka that faces Bianca. I think of all the people,
crazy,
I think especially with
PTA mom Asuka
with like
fantastic always, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I feel like Asuka's the one, and it will be more of this evil kind of. I know they haven't really gone that route.
Do we involve Uncle Howdy / Bray in this angle now that Alexa's taken a bit of a break?
I would say no.
I think it is. I think he's the onus of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's what Belair needs. The summer of like.
I mean, that's what they look. That's the kind of storytelling they like to do up in Stanford.
I know.
I don't know. I feel like if Asuka does end up being the one that faces Bianca, I feel like Asuka should beat her. I really do.
I like the Raquel
that's never gonna happen.
And
I love Asuka. Trust me.
Yeah.
Those feats of strength.
And you don't bring out the Kana more in Asuka to not give her a push, is what happened.
Well, this is the push, though. The push is she's getting a quote unquote main event at Mania in terms of on the women's side with Bianca.
Yeah.
But she also doesn't need a title to help her. I mean, she is always. I mean, it's one of the more remarkable things at WWE that somebody who can't speak English has gotten over and is almost Teflon. The way that Asuka is, because you can beat her and Asuka will just come out, do her sexy dance, run into people with her hips, and and she'll still be and spit her mist now, and she'll be over. And it's just like wow. But then I mean, she's just a badass. She's just awesome. I love her.
Yeah, she is truly great, and we're a mere 7-8 weeks away from WrestleMania. We have a couple matches set in stone. Obviously, we know it's going to be Rhea and Charlotte. We know it's going to be Cody and Roman. But the rest of the card is kind of up for grabs currently. I know there's rumors. Everyone thinks Sami and KO versus the Usos is pretty dead set, which I think we can all agree with. And then obviously we know the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber will face Bianca. So we kind of have an idea of who Bianca will end up fighting, no matter who wins, what's going on there. How do we see the rest of this WrestleMania card? It looks like they're going to go Seth Rollins and Logan Paul seems to be the direction they're going to be going there.
And having watched the Royal Rumble with a lapsed fan of 20 some odd years and my brother, he loved Logan Paul. He was like, my God, that guy's good.
Here's the thing. Regardless of what you feel about him from a personal standpoint,
right?
He is made for this stuff.
Oh yeah. No, that spot with Ricochet was so fantastic.
Incredible.
I'll give you another match that's probably going to happen. That's Brock Lesnar versus Gunther.
You don't think they carry the Lashley thing further?
No.
Okay.
I think
I would prefer, because they had that moment in the Rumble where they stared at each other, and the crowd definitely was ready for it. And I loved Corey Graves, like, sign me up. Like, he was saying all that stuff. Like,
What's been penciled in since November.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. More than okay.
No, and I think that's interesting. I think Brock might actually take some offense from Gunther. And of course, the other Imperium guys can take the F5s and stuff like that. That'll be fine. I think that'll be a fun one.
What do you think, Cena in theory?
Yeah.
For the U.S. title? Probably.
Yeah, I do. I think Bray, Uncle Howdy probably gets a match in there.
Against each other.
Against
Bray
each other,
Uncle
probably.
Howdy.
In some ways, like
that's
the cinematic
does
match.
Mountain Dew have another flavor coming
No,
out?
I think that'll be like
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They said right, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, they said a sponsor, and I think it's going to be Snickers, and I think it's going to be the "You're not yourself when you're hungry" type of match where they're all doing like gimmick changes, like a Hardy compound type thing.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know that for a fact. That's just a guess for me. And then you'll have like a battle royal in there. You'll have like some sort of multi-person type of thing. You'll have Shane and Ronda going up against whoever the tag team champs are, unless they're the tag champs.
Yeah,
because they really want to get the belts on them.
Which I'm okay with. I'm
fine. That. I'm fine with there not being a Becky Ronda feud this year.
Yeah,
because I just think that's another person you should have never put her on week after week. You should have just kept Ronda the hell off because she can't cut a promo. She's not very likable. And the rest of them are just throw together.
I think like Edge and Finn Balor, probably, or something like that.
Well, I think Elimination Chamber is going to be a mixed tag with.
Yes, they're doing that, but do we think that dives into or we think that's the end of it, or do we think that dives into like maybe like Finn and?
I could see a multi-person match, or I could actually see Dominic versus Ray.
Or Dominic versus Ray is another one that I think you could throw in there on one of the nights.
Because it's 2 nights.
That makes sense.
We're gonna have something with Sheamus and Drew in some fashion. I don't know. Maybe they put them up against like Braun and Ricochet
or something.
And then we'll have like the Brutes and the Imperium, and we'll have a 4-way tag or something like that.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of good singles feuds necessarily in there.
I don't think so. So, trying to think about like where
the Miz will get something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Miz Gargano, maybe. I don't know.
Miz Gargano could be something.
He's busy this weekend.
Wow, what's he doing?
He's playing in the Celebrity All-Star game.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, that's next week. I thought it was the same night as Chamber.
17th, the Friday night.
Okay.
The skills challenges are Saturday for All-Star Weekend, but yeah.
I was trying to remember what All-Star.
I wonder what kind of game the Miz has. I'm intrigued.
I think he'll be all right. Why not?
He's in Southern California.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right. He was on the challenge for all those years before he dove into WWE and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Under points for the Miz in the Celebrity All-Star game.
6.
Oh, I was gonna say 10. But yes, 6 is good.
digits?
I would go over the 6. I would go over the 6.
I got a
depends on how much time is he starting. Is he?
Yeah, exactly.
That's for the degenerates to figure out.
Yeah, exactly, because there will be betting lines on that. So
look, we know people aren't going to pass in that game, so it's like one of those things. Yeah.
No.
He's got two 3-pointers in him.
Are we up against Hard Out at the hour?
No, we're good.
Okay, because I was going to say we haven't even talked about the Super Bowl yet.
Oh no, we're talking about
next week.
Next week we're stuck with the Hard Hour again.
Returns, friends.
Yeah, but no, we're good. We got the time that we need here. I'm trying to think if there's anything left that happened in the week that was in the wrestling side of things before we do turn it over to some football talk.
Look, it's been a while. What did you think of the Toxic Attraction breakup?
Okay.
Really?
What was that?
It was me thinking about my response. What, am I not allowed to take a moment to ponder?
No,
you felt like you had something to say.
Yeah, you went.
Here's my thing.
You were about to unload on.
Yeah,
here's my thing.
Okay, here we go. He has a strong opinion about it.
No, well, I think they shouldn't have done it.
Okay.
You need women's tag teams.
I agree.
Bring them up to the main roster. They could have fit in immediately.
They were on the main roster for a week and they got
exactly
down, which is kind of bad.
They were in that tournament.
Yeah. And they were doing good. They got over, I thought.
Yeah, and Hab guy saying so much for my hopes of Chelsea Green, like Toxic Attraction joining Chelsea Green on the main roster. I would have been cool with them not kind of going back to a trio with somebody else, but like you bring them up just as a, hey, this is an established tag team from NXT, multi-time NXT women's champions.
Yeah.
They're here. It again, up on the main roster, how many women's tag teams do we have? Count
you
them.
have Damage Control, and that's
say them
about
out.
it.
Damage Control. That's literally it. You
And
know what I
maybe
mean?
Ronda and Shayna.
Yeah, Ronda and Shayna would be a good yes. But like right now, there's literally like one legitimate women's tag team on the main roster, and you have tag team titles on your main roster.
Yeah, and you've now taken the secondary women's tag titles and turned it into a story title with the Brazzers duo over there. Yeah.
Yep. So it's one of those things to me where it's like this was as easy as you could get. Established women's tag team coming up to the main roster, another player in the women's tag team division, which you clearly need to make those titles matter because they fucking don't. So it did not make sense to me. Now, if you're keeping them in NXT and there are no immediate plans to bring them up, which maybe that's the case, okay. I just don't. From what I've seen, because Mandy was the dominating person in that group for the whole time. So I just have not seen enough singly from each of those women that makes me think like, okay, and what now? They're just going to be solo stars instead of coming up as a established tag team where they could actually be stars in a division that needs a kick in the ass.
Okay, I was early on this, but I thought that JC was the glue of that team.
She seems to be the one that like gets.
Well, she had a rough start because she wasn't getting the. They do a thing with the sexy gimmick, where they make you, if you watch, all the people with the sexy gimmick have to walk the tightrope down the middle of the imaginary tightrope down the middle of the lane and whatever, foot after foot. She was having problems with that. She was kind of having problems with the attitude type of thing. But I think she's the money. I mean, as she's gotten more confident in the gimmick and things like that, she's been the one who's had the personality. She's been the better actor of the two. I think Gigi, because of her indie run, had a lot more of the fanboy type of thing. But I just don't. I've never really seen it in her. Even when she was doing the Hell's Favorite Harlot gimmick on the indies, I'm just. But I think as a team, they were very, very good, and they were very good for each other. And I kind of agree that they rushed this. I can't believe they apparently they screwed up the way the door was supposed to be facing.
Really? Her face was pretty messed up.
Yeah, well, the door was supposed to go the other way when they ran the head into it, and it turns out it didn't.
And that's probably why she ended up with like that. It looked like a door burn.
This is why you always check your props. Sorry,
it looked gnarly. It looked gnarly.
Clearly, they're not planning on calling them up anytime.
And that's the vibe that I get.
Or they're going to repackage them if they do.
Yeah, I almost feel like.
But it's not like things that happen in NXT really ever mattered on the main roster anyway.
Well, I think
they'll be a tag team again.
Well, I think they're going to be bringing up Casey and or Katana Chance and Caden Carter, who are an interesting team. They've improved heads and shoulders. I think they're going to give them a chance to grow on the main roster. I think they're bringing them up.
They just need
they are tiny.
The NXT titles.
They are
women's titles.
Well, the reason they lost, I think, was because they're going to bring them up, and they have double team moves, which helps them a lot. But man, they are tiny. They are tiny women.
Katana Chance barely. I don't think she can see over the ropes.
Yeah, but I mean, I also just would have never changed her name because she still had that. She still had the celebrity from American Ninja Warrior that whole time, which was a huge mainstream hit. Obstacle Course, the TV show.
I used to gamble on those shows, over-unders on how long they'd last.
Really?
Just for
You're degenerate. What are you doing?
We'd be sitting around being like, I got $5. It says sofa.
Okay, $5 is fine.
Yeah, I don't have money, Jeff. I don't have Jeff Hawkins money, bro.
Oh, well,
we got
most of that Jeff Hawkins money got lost in the market this year. So.
We got Gigi.
Don't worry, that Spencer check will clear.
Have guy saying, fun fact, I saw Gigi perform in person and she used my brother's back to prop up her opponent to deliver a chop. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I'm not saying that she doesn't have talent. I'm saying I didn't think I thought she was. I thought they're saying she was the star of the group was a little bit overwrought. To be honest with you, when JC's been doing clearly best work and also most of
Gigi's
the in-ring work.
over though. She was hella over at Vengeance Day. Like,
That's fine.
I'm just
She'll
saying,
be
like,
good
she
as a
was-
babyface. I think people will like her as a babyface.
Gigi?
I think maybe she might have been miscast as a heel. That's possible.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that 100% her getting over as a babyface. She definitely has a look that people probably could get behind with the attitude and stuff like that. I just, again, kind of what we're talking about. And, and maybe if Katana and Caden are the other choice of bringing the established tag team up, cool. I just feel like you have a tag team division on the main roster that needs tag teams.
Yeah,
So
well,
breaking up one of your premier ones doesn't make sense to me.
Well, remember, this is also the main roster is a place where your tag champs even put the belts on the desk and left at
true.
one point. So I mean, they could
It's
give
true.
a shit about tag team titles
It's
for
true.
the most part.
You are right.
Men
You are
or
right.
women, the Usos having both belts is the most they've cared about tag titles in about 15 years in that fucking company. So
Yeah. I mean,
we think they lose it tomorrow.
Wait, what?
There's a tag team championship match.
Oh, the Usos versus no.
tomorrow,
Exactly.
They're losing it at WrestleMania to KO and Sammy. That's what's going on now.
what's tomorrow?
On SmackDown, the Usos are
tonight.
fighting on SmackDown.
Oh, wait, no, today's Thursday.
Tomorrow.
You're right. Okay, tomorrow.
It's not that far from me where they are, Mohegan Sun. That's within a couple hours. I should have went. I think they're gonna, because the story going into tomorrow is Jay gonna show up, and I think he'll show up. And
Yeah. No, I don't think he shows up till Elimination Chamber.
So who do you think? Like Solo fills in, or you think?
Yeah, I think they do Freebird rules.
Fair.
Because they did that when Sammy saved the titles. Remember?
That is true. That is true with Jimmy. All right, I'd be okay with that if we don't see Jay until the chamber.
What if they were like, Sammy's the only person that could fill in because you've used him already in the Freebird thing, and then
imagine.
Well, they can do that, or you know what? I could see Jimmy winning it by himself, and then there being
do that too.
Oh, does Jimmy trust his brother anymore? Type of a thing, and then Jay pays it off with the super kick to Sami Zayn.
There you go.
I could see that happening too. That'd be all right.
I could see Roman coming in and doing it if he. He did that before. I think he's like, I'll fill in. I'm your partner this week.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways they can go. It's really
Paul Heyman steps in. Just stand there, Paul. I got this.
I'd be fine with that too. Nicholas from Braun Strowman and Nicholas.
Oh, imagine Nicholas.
Is Nicholas in
he's got to be bigger and older now. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Have guys saying that is Jay going to show up for Chamber is because of Canada not allowing people with too many DUI charges, but they make exceptions.
Is that Jay or Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy has the actual DUIs, but I do think Jay has some history that.
Okay. No, I was wondering that too. I mean, you can have the mystery go on, but eventually Jay's going to turn. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, look at it for the storyline purposes. It makes the most sense if he does it at Chamber
Well,
with that crowd.
Yes.
Like you said, Sammy's on the verge of breaking through, and that crowd is ready to fucking explode. And Jay comes back and goes, "No, not today." And it's like, "Oh my god,"
And Roman has the sharpshooter on him.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
really good heat.
They ring the bell. But like something like that that's the gold storytelling of this working. You know what I mean? So, but like you said, Hab guy, they do make exceptions for sports and entertainers. So I'm hoping, Triple H called who he had to call and say, "Hey guys, we got to make this work."
And the company will say, "Hey, he's going to be under our protection. He won't be out by himself."
Yeah, he'll be with us. We'll have curfew on him.
He's leaving as soon as the show is over. He's not staying.
Whatever you need to say, whatever you need to do to make it work, you need them there to continue that story, especially with that being going to be the main event. Going to be, you just need them to be there. All right, I was going to say any other. Chamber's not until next one. I feel like the Chamber card is shaping up to be pretty good.
I just don't like the Chamber for a secondary title. I also just don't like the Chamber in between Rumble and Mania, to be honest with you. It should be what the Survivor Series was, but now that they got War Games, it's pretty much good. I would put it somewhere else though.
Yeah, I feel like they should kind of, there were the rumors that Triple H wants to make Hell in a Cell more of a blow off.
And I'm fine with that.
Yep. I feel like they
Or
should
make this the tag. I love the tag team elimination chambers. I
Yeah.
always found those interesting,
Yeah.
both the men and the women's, because you've already established a single star with the Rumble.
Mhm.
Let's make elimination chamber the tag team thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm not really against them doing a secondary title. I do. I always thought it was kind of dumb that you would have, and I know Sean Ross Sapp has been a big advocate of this publicly, like on the shows, but like you have a guy win the Royal Rumble, beats 30 dudes to win the Royal Rumble, and then 3 weeks later he has to beat 5 other dudes
I don't like that at all.
to go to WrestleMania.
Nope.
So like I'm okay with it being a secondary title now because it prevents that from happening.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of it being for a number one contendership as well. Like I like that part of it too. Hey, you want to be the number one contender and get a title match at WrestleMania? Go through hell right here to go do that. So I'm not necessarily against it. I did like the tag teams. I feel like this is a match that it shouldn't have its own pay-per-view. I feel like this is a match that should be thrown out whenever you're at, just a certain, how they used to do it, like, hey, it could be any pay-per-view it could be at, and then just go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put it inside the Elimination Chamber. And then everyone just goes, oh shit. All right. It's oh God. Like, and that's what they want to kind of get back to when it comes to the Hell in a Cell. They want to get back to that. Like we've had a long, the Edge and Judgment Day feud. Like it would make sense if after the match, the mixed tag, or however it ends, if it still ends with, some bullshit or whatever, that Edge goes, you know what, Finn? I've had enough of this. I'm ending this. You and me in Mania, Hell in a Cell.
Did you blink
That is what that's for.
Did you blink twice at all at Dax on his podcast saying that Edge and Christian versus FTR and AEW is closer than you might think?
I was going to say closer than you may think. Yeah, I did hear him say that, and I was like, is it? Do you think it is?
I don't.
Do you see Edge going to AEW?
Edge is so made in WWE, and
Like,
his wife gets a payday occasionally. Yeah.
If anything, I would see it. I mean, Christian hasn't been on TV.
I could see it in
forever.
WWE more.
That's what I was going to say. If anything, I could see it happening in WWE down the line in the future. I don't know though. All right. Pluggo, anything you want to talk about from a wrestling standpoint before we maybe transition over to the big game that's happening Sunday evening?
No, all of it. Let's just talk. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
Here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to take a small break. We're going to play a little ad for our sponsors, our friends over at Manscaped. And then we will come back and we are going to talk a little bit. What is it? 57? A little bit of Super Bowl 57.
Go Steelers.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? I know Jeff is on my side with that as well, but the Steelers are my least favorite team in all of football.
They should give it to this Super Bowl to the Bengals regardless, but
we'll dive into that too, because I do want to get your opinions on how you're feeling.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's watch a little bit thing about our friends in Manscaped, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some football.
Well, let me tell you something, everyone. If you go over to manscaped.com, right this moment in time, right now, you can save 20% off of your next purchase at manscaped.com. But how am I going to save 20%, I hear you ask? Well, let the wordsmith tell you. Because if you enter promo code LOVEWRESTLING, that's right, Love Wrestling. You can see it down here. You can see it scrolling across the screen. Enter promo code LOVEWRESTLING and save 20% off of anything you find on that website. And also, you'll get free shipping. How crazy is that? 20% off. You can use it to buy the Lawnmower 4.0. And at the end of the day, your balls are going to thank you because, like the headline says, at manscaped.com, we save balls. And it's just too sweet.
There it is. That's our good friend, Pluggo's best friend, actually.
friend.
Yeah, Pluggo's best friend,
Best
the wordsmith, talking about manscaped.com.
You know, I've been through Sean Ross Sapp live reads.
Yep.
I've been through my own live reads. I've never
Yep.
quite been through the cinema verite of that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
That
why
is
he is.
amazing.
That's why he is the wordsmith. He is one of a kind. But as you can see below, if you go to manscaped.com, you type in that promo code Love Wrestling, you will get 20% off plus free shipping over at Manscaped.
Worldwide, baby.
Yeah, that shipping is worldwide. You can live anywhere. All right. Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. kickoff.
6:25 p.m. Get
Is it
right.
6:25? It says 6:30 for me. But all right,
It used to
6:25.
be 6:25.
Either way, somewhere around that time, we have the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Where is it?
State Farm
Arizona, right?
Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
It is in Arizona for Super Bowl 57. Before we dive into this game, obviously, Jeff, your Cincinnati Bengals were in the AFC Championship for the second year in a row. Last year, they prevailed
Yeah.
by beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City.
And
This year,
the
they
script
came up
wasn't
just
happening.
a tad short.
And I was also there.
You went to Kansas City. You were there. You were in the stadium.
My brother is a Kansas City Chiefs season ticket holder.
Oh my God.
He flies in from DC for games.
look at
And so I've been at the game the last 2 days.
We got Josh Robinson saying AEW just announced a TV deal here in Australia, so no more
Awesome.
fight
There you
for them. That's
go.
awesome. Hi, Josh. Good to see you, friend.
Yeah, so
It's
I
on
was,
ESPN. Holy
I was-
shit. All right.
I was
That's
in the
a big
house
deal.
and it was butt ass cold. Oh my
Oh,
god,
I
was it
bet.
cold
Yeah,
there.
Kansas City's raw in the winter.
Well,
How
we got
far
lucky.
away-
We
you're
got
in
lucky
LA? You're
last.
stationed in LA?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I flew out there.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to go last year as well. That was nice. This year, not so
That was a
much.
good one. That was a good,
Last
that was a
year
good trip.
or this year, I thought with 239 and Burrow with the ball, I thought maybe.
Yeah.
Philly's
but-
in the house too, by the way. Shout out to Philly.
Oh, yeah.
But I, to me, I was watching the game and I was like, I couldn't believe we were still in it. To be honest with you, our offensive line again.
Not great.
When you lose a starting lineman 3 weeks in a row, it's gonna be
Yep.
hard.
Mhm.
And Buffalo, we got lucky with bad weather. I was hoping it would snow because I think snow would have helped us because we could have had a running game as opposed to the quick passes. And I think once Tyler Boyd went down,
Yes.
our vertical passing just went out the window because we stopped doing it for the most part.
Mhm.
They had Tyler Irwin in there as the third slot back, and everybody knew he wasn't going to him, so they just double chased the entire time. And so we didn't have a running game, we didn't have a vertical passing game. And yeah, I mean, I rewatched it on TV after I went there, and I'm watching. I'm like, I can't stand Ron Torbert. I just he's the man who also threw the flag on Zach Wilson in the Super Bowl for that.
Well, I wanted
pass
to ask
interference.
you because there was a lot of coming out of that game. There was a lot of questioning the referees with some of the calls that seemed to be pro Kansas City.
There was a no call on Burrow getting hit out of bounds.
Yeah.
I thought the Osai call was good.
Yeah, it was the right call. It was and
but
that's a
I
shame
also-
because that guy played his ass off.
But I
He had
thought-
a great game
yeah,
up until
I
they
love
played his
him.
ass off.
But I think there should have been offsetting penalties on that play as well because I think there were holds against two of the linemen on that play after watching them. But I mean, it's hard to bitch about the refs when you don't think that you were playing that well.
Yeah.
And I was under the opinion. I mean, from what I was told, it was a great game. From watching it in the stadium, I didn't think it was a great game, but it was close. So it was one of
Yeah.
those things where I'm just like, we can't really do anything. I wasn't terribly impressed with what the Chiefs could do. I just think, if Hayden Hurst catches that touchdown pass as opposed to it getting knocked out at the last second, maybe we win that game
Mhm.
early, going ahead because nobody could really score in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they should have. I thought maybe Mahomes flopped a little on that push by Osai as well.
Oh, he
I mean, I'm
definitely
not
sold
saying,
it. Definitely sold it.
I'm not
I would say
saying.
he
I'm not
sold it.
saying it wasn't a good call. I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying maybe you swallow that flag. And then if they swallow that flag, maybe the Bengals have a shot of getting in with a field goal. And maybe
It's
they
like,
have
it's like a 58-yard field goal at that point if you don't call that flag.
right. And you're not kicking that in that weather.
Yeah.
That weather, those. I mean, he barely got that one from 30 or 28 over the crossbar. It barely got that because those balls were frozen in rocks at the time. There, I mean, I had a bottle of water in my pocket and it froze. That's how cold it was in that stadium. Yeah.
Jesus.
But and maybe we get a couple of those linemen back for the Super Bowl if we win. But I hesitate to say we were screwed, but there were definitely some things that you're just like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And I'm praying to God that Anarumo doesn't go to the Cardinals because I love that guy.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he is getting some head coaching opportunities.
He got one
head
head
interviews or opportunities.
He's the last two in between him and the offensive coordinator for the Giants. And I think Kyler Murray, being a coach killer, is going to want the offensive guy.
Yeah.
And he has
that'll be all right. That means he'll probably stick with you, right? So
I love. He's my favorite defensive coordinator ever, and I loved Zimmer too. And the Eagles had the luxury of not having to play a quarterback in their game.
Okay, so all right. So as we dive in here, okay,
They played about 3.
Well, I was gonna say, so we have obviously the 2 number 1 seeds. The Eagles have been the best team in the league record-wise all year.
Yes.
They are there. I do feel like they are the more complete team of the 2.
I agree.
However, I can't remember an easier road to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the NFC soft.
In a while.
The NFC
in a
was
while.
soft this year. I don't care.
Real tough.
He was a murderer's row of quarterbacks, and that's why I also think.
And that's why the Eagles are going to win by 20.
Well,
and that's very possible. That's very possible.
Lamar's going to the NFC next year. That's
think so?
My call. I think he's going to probably Atlanta or
Detroit.
I was thinking that. I thought the Patriots would make a run at him, to be honest with you. Him and Bill are very affectionate towards each other.
Are
public.
they?
Oh, yeah.
I
say a lot of good things about each other.
I could see Belichick wanting to kill him the first time he doesn't decide to stay in the
there was always rumor they didn't do it because he was available for them at the pick, but there was big rumor at that draft that he came out of that the Patriots were heavily interested in drafting him. And then he was available for them at 32, and they didn't. I don't even remember who they took, but they probably took someone who's not in the fucking team.
They graded the pick
so Pluggo, give your breakdown of the game here because I'm going to talk a little bit when it's my turn. So I'm going to let you guys go.
Mr. Warren Hayes in the chat. Jeez, of course Hawkins is here, and they're talking football.
Yeah, we talked Canada before, so
we did. We did, Warren. We talked wrestling. We talked Canada. We did do that.
Great, Mr. Warren Hayes. How you doing? How are you? Which game am I breaking down? The Super Bowl game or just the playoffs in general?
No, the Super Bowl game. That's what we're here to talk about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, everybody's like, that's why I said Eagles by 20 because they have the softest road, yada, yada, yada. But I think it's going to be, it might be one of the highest scored Super Bowls in history.
Oh,
I've got that vibe.
Defense, though,
Eagles defense is great. What are you talking about?
Real good.
But it's the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes, and they put up numbers, and my thing is, I feel like we're gonna get into a shootout because that defense is. I mean, it's good, but I mean, how many great defenses go stop? How often do you stop the Chiefs?
I mean, they can be stopped. The Patriots stopped them a few times. The Bengals stopped them. They can be stopped. And I do think how injured Mahomes is.
I did see a bunch of people on the injury report for the Eagles just said rest was their injury. AJ Brown is on the.
Wasn't the NFC Championship game enough rest? They were going against fucking a dude out of the stands as the quarterback for crying out loud.
They're rested and ready to go. I have a feeling.
For me, it's one of those things where how I view it is, like I said, I think the Eagles are the more complete team.
Yeah.
But like all of us here, like I've been watching football for a long time, and sometimes in the biggest games, the best players are the guys that step up and do it, and I have a hard time picking against Patrick Mahomes because I think he is the best player.
Are you telling me you'd be surprised if it was like 45-42?
At the end of the day, no. I really wouldn't be that surprised, but just the Eagles defense is really good. Really good.
And I also don't think the Eagles offense is going to get into a shootout necessarily. I think what's going to happen is everybody's going to think that because I think the Chiefs are going to score really quick on their first possession and everybody's going to go, oh, here we go. But the Chiefs have I believe they have the number 32 run defense in the NFL. And I think you can run it down their throats.
Mhm.
I think the Eagles have to do one of two things. I think they either have to have the run game really going, or they have to have the vertical pass game going, because that defensive backfield is a little sus, other than Juan Thornhill.
Yeah.
The problem is the Bengals, at least because they didn't have a line, were doing all the short pass stuff, and that plays right into that defense's hands. Now, for Kansas City, the thing is they have Kelsey, and that's always a problem because no matter what the team is in the NFL right now, if you have a quarterback and you have a tight end who's great, it's going to be a problem for your defense, because do you put a linebacker who can't keep up with them in pass coverage, or do you put a safety who is smaller than them that'll get wrecked in the defensive backfield? So yeah, but their receivers
we need
aren't
Warren's
much.
breakdown of this game. Apparently,
Valdez Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster haven't been fantastic for them. They've made a couple of good catches in there, but they haven't been the Tyreek Hill second option type thing.
Yeah.
Their running game has been off. They lost a receiver in the Cincinnati game.
Yes.
In that. So I think there's going to be one of these things where Mahomes and Kelsey hook up early and it's 7-0, and then Hurts just drives them down with Devontae Adams or did I get that right?
Smith, yeah,
Devontae Smith.
Thank you. Devontae Adams is the receiver. I get that.
Devontae Adams signs with the Eagles.
No. But he drives him down with a run game type thing, like an 8-minute drive or something like that. Starts to wear down that defense a little bit. Offense comes out again, goes real quick maybe, or they get a 3 and out, and then the Eagles come back again, and that defense is tired on the Chiefs' end. And I think the Eagles can win this very.
Oh yeah.
And I think also Hurts is going to be a problem for that defensive line. I know the defensive line gets a lot. They're going to over pursue, and I think Hurts is going to really take advantage of that because Chris Jones is sick, so that's interesting too. They have a flu bug going through the Chiefs right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that
flu game for the Chiefs, baby. The flu game is real.
But that line over pursues. So with a quarterback who can run, and Burrow did this a couple of times. I mean, it was like a 4th and 16, and he just ran it. Sometimes they will over pursue. Jalen Hurts is going to kill him if they over pursue and they don't do contain. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I am thinking, and plus Andy Reid always does something stupid in a game. There's always a trick play, or a bad clock decision, or he decides to challenge something where you're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
What was that?
That ring around the road. And I think, look, it either works or it doesn't. I think this time it doesn't. I think he does some trick play and it blows up in his face and it ends up hurting them down the road somewhere. Mm. But I mean, look, I get everybody. Oh, it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey, it's Mahomes, it's Kelsey. I think the Eagles are the better team. Even though
I think they are. I think they are. I think they're the more complete, better team.
I think also they have this thing like when they played the Colts and they just bodied them out of the building because Sirianni and Reich were boys. Sirianni's coming in here with a chip on his shoulder because Reid fired him at one time, and for some reason that team takes on that coach's personality.
Yeah, but they fired him because like he was a first-year coach. The guy Reid was.
He was the receivers coach, I think, for the Chiefs or something like that. But
I saw. Did you guys know? This is crazy, right? This is that there's brothers playing in the Super Bowl. This is like, did you know Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, did you know Cody was injured?
If the Eagles had Ertz still, I would even put the Eagles up big. I think it was huger because their tight end right now is good.
Goddard, right?
Yeah, he's not Zach Ertz.
No, they chose him over Zach Ertz though. Warren saying, "Hey, Rihanna is so focused on the halftime show she forgot about her birthday. So I don't know if Mahomes is so focused he forgot anything of significance." And then Warren says, "Wait, Cody was injured?"
Yeah, did you hear?
All you people with the Cody slander. I will not take that.
Hey, I'm a Cody guy. I love Cody.
It's not Cody. It's not that I'm slandering Cody as much as I'm slandering like WWE for every 30 seconds, being like, Cody's injured, right? Here's the promo. Here's a vignette.
Well, I mean, look, okay, if I could get the happy medium between WWE and AEW, WWE beats it over the head and AEW forgets it for 4 weeks, and then they bring it back up and go, "Oh, it was long-term storytelling." Yeah, shut up. Wasn't. You just
Warren
forgot.
in the chat. Is Warren? Are you watching the Super Bowl, Warren, or are you watching Velma?
Or like,
No, well, Warren already
Hockey.
watched Velma, and he loathed it
know.
just like everybody else.
No,
He said no, he's not
I
watching
may not watch
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl. I'm still upset. My brother.
I was going to say, you being, I mean, no
No
on
on
both.
both.
He said no on both. No on both. I believe Warren has already watched it. He already watched Velma.
You realize
Warren's
how
watching
honored,
whatever his lady tells him to watch.
You know how honored I am that was a clip for Warren on social media. Was me asking him if he'd rather watch Velma or the Pitch Black match. Like, I feel honored. Like, just
Oh, yeah, Jeff, what were your opinions on the Pitch Black match?
I didn't watch it.
Fair. All right, well.
No, I was in Kansas City. I was in Kansas City. I went to dinner.
I said, wow, Jeff.
I think
wow.
that's to your comment,
I
Jeff.
know,
I'm pretty sure.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, I went to dinner when Cody came out at number 30, and we got back at when the women's rumble on number 26. So I literally missed nothing of value in the
Gotcha.
rumble.
Gotcha.
I
How
did
did you feel
I did
about-
try Mountain Dew Pitch Black Zero Sugar though, and it was interesting.
So I was on the Fightful watch along that night, and it was a requirement that you needed to buy a Pitch Black to be a part of the Fightful watch along. So I tried it too.
Now, how's the
And
sugar version? Is it good?
I had the sugar version. It tasted like grape Diamond Tap. So
okay. Yeah, that's about right.
that was my review of
Although
Mountain
it's
Dew
better
Pitch
than
Black.
The melon
I have
one
not.
I hated. and then-
Major Melon is fine. What are you talking
That's-
about?
I have not. First of all, I went to a convenience. So
the
I was
voodoo
told
kind
this.
sucks
I was
too.
told this. So I stop at a convenience store after work. I'm like, shit, I got to go to a convenience store and get a Pitch Black. There were like 7 different flavors of Mountain Dew. And I was like, what the hell's it was like the first time I took the corner at a grocery store and saw the Pop-Tart aisle.
You know
And I
what
was
we
like,
should
when I was a
do?
kid, there were 3 flavors.
We
half
should
the
get
aisle
all the
was-
flavors
yeah.
of Dew and have a night where we just try them all.
I mean, I would probably not enjoy that, but I
Well,
would
that's
do
fine.
it.
That'd be
I
a
would
Well,
do
like
it.
Dr. Pepper's doing the same thing with that strawberries and cream flavor.
I was going to
which
say, yeah, they just
I was
came out
looking
with-
for those zero sugar. They only had the sugary version, so I couldn't try it. But it's like
Yeah.
they just.
I can't find that anywhere up here.
strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper.
Everybody's buying it up.
Now
No,
the
yeah.
Dr. Pepper and cream soda is a delight.
Delicious.
It's
Yeah.
It's a
fire.
delight.
Well, they
I
have
like-
Dr.
I
Pepper has
like
their
the
own
zero
version of
sugar
cream soda.
stuff, you know.
Okay, so wait a second. So I have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Who do you?
Well, yeah,
have?
we're definitely getting back. I want scores. I want all this stuff. But before, because we started talking
We're
about the Rumble
talking
again.
soda.
Were you okay with Cody
Oh.
being 30?
I want to trash Warren a little more. No,
We
what?
can-
No,
Were you okay with Cody being 30?
I was
Or do you
fine
think that
with
was
it.
kind of a...
I thought it was a little bit too on the nose, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I thought it was. I actually thought he was going to be number 1 or number 2.
I thot he was going to be number
I
1.
thought he was going to
That
go
was
the
my...
whole
I was like,
way.
I think he's going to be number 1 and just go the whole way.
F's
I
in
mean, we
the
knew he was
chat.
getting his entrance. We knew he was getting the
Warren's
entire.
like, don't be talking trash about me. But
Do we need? We'll send Warren the link. He'll come in. He'll yell. He'll
Shut up,
scream.
American Junior.
Send him the link. Get him in here. Let's go.
No,
he'll say it. Send me the link.
Jeff Hawkins.
We'll just have them just start
Warren.
shouting at each other
Why
below,
are
like
they
after we
hating
give our
each other?
picks.
Yeah, we do this.
And we'll
just
sit
Yeah.
there like,
No, but
let
all
him
right.
fight it out. Let
So
him
here's what we'll
fight it
do.
out.
So Jeff has already told us that he thinks the Eagles are going to win. So
Yeah.
we'll Pluggo. I'll go to you. Give me who you think's going to win, and give me a score. And then we'll go down to Jeff to get his score because we know he's leaning Eagles.
Yeah.
We'll get his score, and then I do want to talk about, like, in our last 15 minutes or so, or even however long it takes us, whatever. I do want to talk about favorite Super Bowl memories before we get out of here, past Super Bowls. As well, because my Patriots stink now, so I don't have anything to look forward to anymore.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Shut up.
That-
Pluggo.
Come
Shut up,
on.
Pluggo. Hey, look.
You've
at
had
when-
the most decorated
once you win,
franchise.
Once
Oh,
you
I hate
win, you always want to win. All right, that's how it goes.
Oh, poor Boston Sports.
Oh,
they never
shut up.
win.
All right,
Oh
the
my
Bruins and
God,
the
you
Celtics
win
going to win this year. We'll be
everything.
fine.
Get
We'll
out
be
of
fine.
my. Get out. of here.
Pluggo, give me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and give me a score.
This is tough, man. This is one of those games where, like I said earlier, I think everybody's heavy on the Chiefs. So, like, the Eagles winning wouldn't be a shock, but like, it's the Chiefs, man. It's Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. Do we think that this spot is too big for the Eagles, like Jalen Hurts? And
Well,
all that?
I okay.
Because like that's where I'm at. Like, is it? This game is gonna come down to Jalen, like how he performs
Mhm.
in such a
think
huge spot. So if he comes through, like I could see
From-
the Eagles running away with this thing, but scoring like 40 points.
from what I see from their coach, I think their coach has the right mentality. I like his mentality as a coach. However, the first time you get to a situation like this, the first time you get to a moment like this, sometimes you tighten up, you get a little too. There is at least a little bit, to me, of these guys have been here before. They know what it's like. They know how to prepare. They know what the Super Bowl week in the media and everything leading up. They know how to compartmentalize all of it and schedule. I just feel like being there multiple times before might help. There's a little bit too helping prepare, understand what it's going to feel like before the game, the longer halftime, all this stuff. I do think there is something to that. I do. Does it mean that I think the Chiefs are solely going to win because of that? No. But I do think that is a factor. I do believe being there before and knowing what it takes to win a game like that.
I'm going to do it.
Matters.
I'm going to say Eagles 45, Chiefs 31.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a high score, bro.
It is.
45,
Told
30.
you.
What? What's the over-under? Do we know the over-under?
I think there's going to be points.
And do we have a line yet? I think it's the Chiefs 1.5 or something like that.
Because if you get into this situation where these refs affect the Super Bowl based on what they've had happen in this playoffs, I think it's going to be just chaos.
Eagles 1.5, over under 51.
Pluggo's got the Eagles almost hitting the over-under on themselves.
That's right, baby. I'm going to see some points scored. When it happens, come here next week when you're like, oh, shit, Pluggo's like Nostradamus. He knows his shit. But I think that the refereeing in this playoffs has shown, like, they don't want that shit. They want points. They want point. They don't want it. What's been saying here?
Carl Cheffers is the crew. So
Big Ben is asking if the Sami Zayn slander is over. Jeff, are you done slandering?
I wasn't slandering.
It wasn't slandering. There was no slander.
I was slandering fans who wanted to make him champion. That's what I was slandering.
Yeah, I don't think there was any slander.
I think Sami Zayn deserves to be a champion at some point in his life.
He's a champion of your heart. There you go.
Correct.
I think Big Ben deserves to be the champion. Sign him, WWE. Right now, he's the GOAT. He never tapped out to Ronda.
It's true. Sure. He did not tap out.
Yeah, but he has those criminal things going on. What? No, who would ever bring that up? Me. So who you got?
He's got Eagles 45-31.
Okay.
I'm going points, baby. High score.
I am not going that high on points. I do have the Chiefs, partly because I picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Nobody thought
Georgia was
going
to ride it.
65-7.
I had the Chiefs beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl, so I got to ride it. I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to say Chiefs 24-20. That's what I'm going to do. I respect the Eagles defense to say, I respect the Chiefs defense. They're not giving up 45 fucking points. I mean, the Chiefs defense is not the greatest, but they're not giving up 45 points. And I don't think the Eagles will even come remotely close to giving up. I said 24,
crazy.
so I guess 31 isn't remotely far away. But yeah, I'm going to go 24-20 Chiefs. I just think at the end of the day, Mahomes is going to need to make a few plays, and I think he's gonna. And
okay.
Yeah, has nothing to do with the Eagles or has nothing to do with whatever. I just think at the end of the day, Mahomes is the dude. He's the best player. He's going to win the MVP tomorrow night. That's how I feel, and I think he's going to win
tonight. Isn't it?
Is it tonight? Did they do it tonight? Did it already happen?
I think it's Thursday. It's tonight.
Well, he's going to win the MVP tonight. Then whatever, he's going to win the MVP.
I thought it was either tonight or tomorrow, but
I thought it was tomorrow. But either way, he's going to win the MVP, and I think at the end of the day, quarterback is the most important position, and he is the guy. And I think he's going to make the plays he needs to do, and they're going to pull through.
I think you need to go further out on some limbs here. You're always so just like it's going to be. No, man, they're going to score a bunch of points. It's going to be great.
But I like to be right, Pluggo.
I'm going to be right, though.
I think it's going to be close in the first half, but I think the Eagles break it open a little bit in the second half. I think they either find a way to shut Kelsey down, or Kelsey gets hurt in the second.
Well, that changes the game tremendously.
I mean, obviously. he was out for most of that second half of the Bengals too. I mean, he's been having some back issues of late. But I again, like I said, I think the Chiefs score quick early, and then the Eagles drive it down, and then as they keep driving, I think they wear down that defense. I think Mahomes makes at least one mistake for a pick six or something like that.
He throws 50, like Mahomes is throwing 50 times.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He's going to be down, so he's going to be thrown from behind.
I think they're going to try the run and they're going to fail, and he's going to start slinging it.
Donovan McNabb.
Pluggo saying he's sure that Donovan McNabb.
I'm
will
going to
pull
go
it
with
in.
30-13 Eagles
Okay.
over Chiefs.
So that's a pretty handily.
I think they break it open late, but I think it's like tight. I think it's like
2017,
it's
20,
like
2013,
2013 or
17,
2013 going into
Yeah.
like the fourth or something like that,
And then they just kinda pull away a bit.
and then they pull away a bit. I think Harrison Butker misses at least one field goal.
You hope.
Fair.
No,
All
I
right.
just
I
he's not a good kicker.
He's not that great. I will. I'll be alone on the Chiefs. And again, I'm from an air.
I want to see my brother cry after spending thousands of dollars for a Super Bowl. That's
Well, there you
what I
go.
wanna see.
It's one of those things where like I'm from an area where I don't like either of these teams.
Yeah,
So
I'm starting to not like the Chiefs.
well, yeah, but I think that's your right. Moving forward, that's the team you guys are going to have to get through to get there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I know.
Well, we got. Oh, Big Ben is a Cowboys fan, I believe. So let me get my mouse over there. I hope the Eagles get fucking embarrassed, like the kind of embarrassed most men would feel pulling up beside Pluggo at a urinal. F the Eagles.
I
So,
love you, Big
He's a
Ben.
Cowboys fan, so there's a little bias
Big
there.
Ben,
I'm assuming,
What-
but
do you want the Eagles to get beaten down worse than you would beat down Mitch Clark?
oh, all right, I see how you did that.
Yeah.
Well, see, Eagles and Cowboys can't coexist. So I get that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think for you, Jeff, moving forward, I think that's the team you're gonna. It's Mahomes and Burrow. That's
Yeah, and
the
they
rivalry.
have a better front office. I mean, free agency is going to be very interesting for the Bengals this year.
Do you think? How do you? All right, and I think you should be positive about this. But how do you feel about your coach? You like your coach?
I have grown to like him.
I say he
Okay, 'cause I was
did
going to say I didn't believe in that guy, but I thought this.
I don't
year
believe.
he-
I didn't believe him in here, but when he started showing fire towards the end of the season, especially with how they were getting treated with the tiebreakers and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and watching him yell at the officials after they redid
call.
the third down
Yeah,
thing,
big
I'm
time.
like, no, and watching how the guys talk about him. Like they talk about him not like a regular coach. They talk about him like this is the guy that I want to follow into battle.
Yeah.
And maybe I missed something here, but I'm like, okay, I can lose Brian Callahan,
Mhm.
who I think is going to be the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's going to
Okay.
get that gig because Peyton is really cheerleading for him to get the gig.
Yeah.
But I think Zach Wilson, he has a toughness that I didn't see before. And it's one of those things where it's like, I just thought he was a dopey young guy who I'm happy to be here, but he has a certain grit to him that
Yeah.
I'm starting to really like. He's like, I'm not here just to do a job. I'm here to win this fucking thing. I'm like, all right, I'm here. Yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had to do a little research to back up my claims here. Last time the Eagles played in a Super Bowl in 2018, they scored 41 points against your New England Patriots, who everybody
Wait,
thought
a Super Bowl? No. Oh, the
Yeah,
Eagles.
it's
Yeah,
right
they
here.
beat us. Yeah. Yeah.
it was 41-33. So the last time the Eagles were in, and everybody thought,
Here's
it's
a
the
prop
Patriots.
bet. I
It's the
guarantee
Patriots.
I
It's
guarantee
the
Kansas City runs Philly special against Philly.
Oh, I hope so. That would be amazing.
Look at that. That is the one Super Bowl. Looking back on it, that
But I'm
the
just saying,
Patriots
like,
had no business losing that Super Bowl.
you're like,
no
it's
business.
unheard of for my little prediction there. The Niners scored 55 on Denver. I looked this up because
Wait,
I wanted
that
to
was
know.
in the 80s.
Oh
Yeah. That was the Steve. I think
The
it was-
Bears
scored-
scored
okay.
46 to 10. They beat the Patriots in Super Bowl
Yeah.
that
20.
was
So
was
the
it
most
Grogan?
in history
Yeah.
was the Niners at 55. Dallas put up 52 against Buffalo. Again,
Bengals
like,
have lost 3 Super Bowls. That's all I know. I have
Seattle did the 43-8 thing against
against
Denver.
the Denver Broncos.
So I'm
Peyton
not
and Denver.
I'm not crazy, but I just don't
It can
sleep
happen.
Don't sleep on the high scores,
Especially
baby.
when we say, "Oh man, what a great defense," and then it just becomes an offensive struggle, and you're just like, "What the hell is this?" I thought these teams were all defensive.
Yeah. We got Ben coming back. He goes, I hope Hurts trips and twists his ankle. I hope their O-line gets diarrhea shits right at breakfast time. I hope their play caller gets a sore throat and can't speak. I hope their mascot gets hit in the head with a pop can. I hope the Chiefs win 134 to
Misspelled the
nothing.
Chiefs though. I think
F the
No, I think it's
Eagles.
right. Yeah, no. I
Um,
mean, I don't expect Cowboy fans to like Eagles, but
Yeah,
no.
no.
I'm bitter about the Bengals losing to the Chiefs. So I'm rooting against them.
Yeah.
I just also too, like, in all seriousness though, you give an Andy Reid, like you said, who's been there, you give him time to prepare. I think you can figure out that offense, and then it just comes down to who can outshoot who. And if your Chiefs are down, like you're saying, Jeff, they're going to have to throw the ball. They'll probably get some quick scores, but it might be too little too late. So how about them?
Fellatio hand gestures on primetime TV, huh?
Reed a little bit. Oh yeah.
Was that are we talking
The MJF?
MJF?
Yeah.
That whole segment from the fake blood to the car.
Warren says, "I'm so happy I got to see Jeff do that." That's what Warren said.
Screen capture that quick.
We'll clip it. We'll clip it out.
Gonna
We'll just be like,
that's
on
gonna be
Sunday.
the moment that we.
Yeah, we'll tweet it on Sunday. Be like, "How's Jeff feeling about the Super Bowl tonight?" Whatever.
Oh look, Mahomes won again.
Oh, there it is. 1
Beauty.
minute 45 seconds.
Yeah, no, we're
40
good.
minutes.
I just hope it's a good game. That's all. I mean, that's what I don't necessarily care or like either one of the teams. I just hope it's a good game.
I hope
hope
both get disqualified and then
that would be nice. That'd be all right with me. But I think
I truly do think that they're going to try. I think there's going to be a clear objective from the NFL, and I said it. I'm going to keep harping it to like let them play, because that whole playoff, the whole season has been these refs are shit. And that game, like the Eagles or the
and
Chiefs
last
game,
year's Super Bowl, the refs were
shit.
shit.
the refs like let them play, swallow that whistle, which I think
sure now they're going to do it
right now, yeah, because we screwed the Bengals, but
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Like the idea here is like it's going to be a good game. It should be a good game, hopefully.
I actually think Cheffers is a pretty decent official. To be
it's the
honest with
Super Bowl, so it's going to be fun. Rihanna's performing.
I was going to say Rihanna's got the halftime show.
Who does she bring out with her?
I know they haven't said anybody yet. I wonder if she's going to do it solo or if she brings out.
She's got to bring out somebody. No offense.
They usually do, but like a couple of years ago, The Weeknd didn't bring out anybody. He did his own thing.
That's because he was in that weird maze doing
I'm
this.
just saying. I'm just saying.
How are you going to bring somebody out when you're like, you can't figure out how to get to the stage?
I'll be happy to be watching it on TV as opposed to live.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
No, it's an interesting concept. Like the halftime show to me, just you couldn't really hear it because of, the acoustics in a stadium type thing. They weren't mic'd up well. The sound was bouncing all over the place. Yeah. So I heard it was awesome last year, but it really just felt like watching it didn't come off well to me live, but
it looked cool. Like it was an interesting concept last year with the
I'll make a prop bet. I think Rihanna brings out Janet Jackson.
Oh,
bring her back for a wardrobe malfunction?
Not for a wardrobe malfunction, but just
they bring her back to redeem herself.
Yes, to redeem herself. Yes,
that'd be cool.
Well, Janet Jackson is the reason you had that string of like halftime shows where
the Who, Paul McCartney, you had all the old guys out there because they were like, we can't have any young hip, even though Janet wasn't young at the time, but we can't have any of these young teeny bopper hip hop. We can't.
And then they realized, screw that. They were like,
and then they were like, wait a minute, nobody cares about the halftime show because everyone.
Now we have
80.
to get the theatrical acts like The Weeknd.
Let's get everybody, whatever, Lady Gaga and all that stuff.
She jumped off of the.
She did.
That was actually a pretty good halftime.
It was, and I thought Bruno Mars had a good one a few years back. I thought
the band was great.
Yeah, I look. It is what it is. The Super Bowl
halftime
show.
What are y'all eating this weekend?
I am getting. Oh boy. Yeah. What are you doing? You got wings?
Like,
how you doing?
So this is like.
What's the go-to football? What's the go-to Super Bowl food? Like Super Bowl.
Like I love wings. I might make like a dip, like a queso dip.
I'm a big nachos guy. Huge nachos guy.
Pizza.
Big nachos guy. Yeah.
Dude, like pull the curtain back. Like last year, we were throwing like a Super Bowl party for a bunch of and we had like some cancellations, weather or something. I can't remember what it was, but so we ended up with so much food, and
that's good food for the next week.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna worry about lunches.
I took like a bunch of pizzas to work, so we went all out. This year, we're gonna keep it very tight, very small settings. So I might just make some wings, do maybe a pizza. I don't know yet.
I'm on a diet, so I'm probably low carb it again. But if I decide to break my diet of a few weeks, I want to make a taco pizza.
Nice.
Ooh,
because I've been having a hankering for that. It's mostly a Midwest thing, and I'm not from the Midwest, but it's just one of those things where it's just like I haven't had a taco pizza in a long time.
No, I've
That
been having
sounds-
that. You know what I saw on the internet the other day? Somebody sent this to me, like
Or a Stromboli.
a Reuben style pizza. I
Yeah.
have to
Reubens.
find it. That sounds
I love
phenomenal.
Rubens.
No, I saw one of those. Buffalo has a place that makes this. They have one of those and a beef on weck that I thought was an interesting type of pizza. Like the weck is the crust and stuff like that. And it was like
Really?
yeah. It was this gourmet place in Buffalo.
That's what I'm talking about.
That sounds right up
Food.
my alley.
That's all
Yeah.
I care about. Food.
No, I'm a
is.
big nacho guy. Nachos are a strong call always.
Oh,
Is that what the 4 F's that Warren sent earlier? Food,
especially-
football, fun,
yeah.
feasting,
And fornicating, yeah.
fornicating.
No, see, okay, but you have to get like the golden cheese sauce type stuff for your nachos. None of this real cheese in the oven type thing. You gotta get the Velveeta.
Yeah, I made
slop
a
or
with
whatever.
Velveeta,
yeah.
the brick in the crock pot. I made like a
Oh, yeah.
queso. I
Oh,
made
yeah.
like
Yeah, like a queso type. You put a jar of
Which-
salsa around
which-
the
no.
Velveeta brick, and you just
Blech. Pass.
wait. You don't like salsa?
Not really. I don't like tomatoes, so I kind of dabble. But like I did it with chorizo. I made like a queso
Chorizo's a
dip with
strong call.
chorizo.
Yeah, chorizo's strong. Yeah.
It was good. So
We have.
But
We,
yeah,
there's a place not far from me. It's called the Egg Roll Cafe. Okay, they make egg rolls. Clearly,
What?
their name is the Egg Roll Cafe.
what if
However,
That'd be
they
awesome.
make all different kinds of egg rolls. They have pizza egg rolls. They have steak and cheese egg rolls. They have spinach and feta. They got broccoli and cheddar. They have regular, normal, as you would get at a Chinese restaurant egg rolls. They have all different types of egg rolls. And they offer platters where you just get a fuck ton of egg rolls for like $15 a pop. They're probably 40 now because capitalism and whatever. But back in the day, they used to be $15 a pop. So when I was having a get together, I would order like 2 or 3 different things, and that's one of the. So I think I'm going to go to Egg Roll Cafe,
Well, there
and
goes
then I'm going to
our
make
Egg
some
Roll
homemade
Cafe
dominant nachos. I
sponsorship.
think that's what I'm doing.
But
Yeah,
a place
sponsor
called
us.
In-N-Out. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, right. Real good.
We don't
Real
have
good.
In-N-Out over here.
No, you don't.
No, I've never been. I've never
Never
had
been
an
either.
In-N-Out over here in the East Coast. Never.
So I gotta
in my
think of a
life.
way to break my carb fast. So
Mm,
it might be
fair.
nachos and
Oh,
In-N-Out.
sorry.
Or pizza. I don't know what
Nachos
to-
are so. Today is actually National Pizza Day.
I
So-
hate Super Bowl parties in Los Angeles, though.
Oh,
cannot
is it
stand
early? The game's early for you.
Well, no,
right?
the
What time?
game's early, but
3:30
at
or
least
whatever?
amongst my friends and stuff, it used to be one of those things where you go and it's a bunch of actors and stuff. So you get a bunch of people doing the sports ball type of thing.
Oh, it's my-
Yay,
my least-
sports ball.
Or the thing that would annoy me is the ads would come on. And this was the important part for the actors and stuff.
Of course.
There'd always be somebody who went out for that ad
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
bitter they didn't book it or something like that.
They
I'm just
didn't
like,
pick
I
me.
can't deal with this shit anymore, guys.
This shitty booking. I'm in catering.
It's my favorite thing.
And,
Like,
and, it's like, hey, I don't come and heckle your Oscar party. Don't come and heckle my Super Bowl.
yeah, fair. That's fair. One of my least favorite things is at the shoot job. I'm one of the only sports fans. And every
they
time
like the gambling, but they don't like the actual sport.
the only time I ever talk about sports or I bring it up, that's what they say. Oh, the sport, you talking sports ball? And I'm like, how about I throw you through that fucking window right there? You want to
Yeah.
talk? You want to be a
Yeah.
smart ass?
I'm the same way.
You got nothing to say? Shut up in the corner. How about you sit over there? All right. When we talk about fucking anime, we'll bring you in here. All right, sit over there.
Anime.
Anyway, and that's nothing against anime. Anime rules, but you know what I mean. Like,
Oh no, I got
pipe
some
down,
anime.
pipe down in the corner. You don't watch sports? Good for you. All right, we'll just sit down.
My favorite part of the Super Bowl party when you go and you're hanging out with a bunch of people and like you're watching the game and you're focused, and then there's always those 2 guys that are talking about sports, but like are just blatantly wrong about what they're talking about.
But they
and I
think
just-
they know everything.
Right. They're like, Joe Montana, he played for the Cowboys once. And the other guy's like, oh, hell yeah, dude. And
Yeah,
you're
dude.
sitting there going
Oh.
like, I want to say something, but I also know that you could probably kick my ass. So I'm going to let you have
Yeah,
your
it's like,
moment.
you know what? I don't want to cause a problem at this party, but
It's not
like
my
you're
house.
a moron, and I really want to tell you you're a moron.
You
Like,
know,
you don't know what you think you know, bro.
You know,
You don't know what you think you know.
Well, I don't
Uh,
overplay this, but I also, I did a year in a Division I school of football as a walk-on, and so I listed people who've never played it down in their lives, doing strategy and stuff like that. I'm like, you're an idiot. Shut up.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't want to say that either.
Yeah.
Or the tough bro guy that's like, I wouldn't have missed that block.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that, but it's like, well, why are they playing this instead of this. They're stupid. It's like I could tell you why. Right.
I would have made that pass. Why didn't Mahomes throw that?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, but there's also just a little bit of not knowing what
Those
each
are my
position
favorite.
does type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, well, we just dropped the safety down here, and because you'd leave that part of the field open, and they'd be killing
they would
you
hit it every time, and you'd
These
get
guys
murdered,
are
and that's how that goes.
professionals.
I also think, and this is speaking as someone who is a Madden player, I also think that like
Mad
people who
love
play
it.
Madden think that they know, like, oh well, I'm really good at Madden, so like I could definitely be a coach.
We're just gonna do the deep post every
No,
time.
no,
and
you
get
could.
there.
No, you could not. Like that's
No, you
not how that works.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Um,
got I won the Super Bowl with your New York Jets, so I'm
Whoa,
pretty
what
good
the
at
hell would you
Madden.
pick the Jets for?
I randomed.
Just for
And I
gross.
built them with Justin Fields at quarterback.
Would you trade for him?
Oh yeah, I got rid of Zach Wilson's ass.
I would think. I would think.
Did he bang your mom too? What?
He's like, I was like, listen here, get out, Mama Pluggo. We don't want
Yeah.
that around here.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, obviously, I know your Bengals have been to 3 Super Bowls. They
Yes.
are unfortunately
0-3.
0-3.
Yes.
But pick your, 1 or 2 favorite Super Bowl moments.
What?
I don't know if any of the Bengals ones will make the top 2.
Oh no!
you know.
Stanley Wilson got caught doing cocaine the night before the Super Bowl. And star running back. That was always fun. In '89, I think that was. No, but like that.
Or
that
best
80
games, 1 or 2 best games.
That
You think?
89 Super Bowl, I loved that one because Stanford Jennings ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. I thought, okay, here come the Bengals, and then Tim Krumrie broke his leg in a very graphic way. I actually really enjoyed the Arizona Steelers Super Bowl in 2008. I think it was 2009. It was 2009.
Oh yes, with the one Harrison had the long interception.
Yeah,
right
I was
before
really
the
rooting
halftime
for
in
the.
that
I
one.
was really rooting for the Cardinals in that one because
Yeah,
I
was
actually
too.
think if I want a quarterback in the Super Bowl, if I can't have Brady, it would be Kurt Warner. To be honest
That
with you,
game-
Kurt
that game
Warner.
was
Even though, yeah, I mean, what is he?
I
ended up,
loved
1
the
and
Greatest
2?
Show on Turf. I thought those were some fun teams to watch in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Uh,
I actually thought one of the first Super Bowls I can remember like loving when I was a kid wasn't involved in my Patriots. It was the Titans and that Rams team.
Okay, yeah.
Where that
First one that we did.
McNair drove them down and they were a yard away.
Yeah. No,
And they
that was awesome.
Dyson stretched it out and it was like, oh my God, I actually thought that was
God, I'm old.
that was one of the early Super Bowls. Because when I was like a youngster first watching it was the Bills and Cowboys.
'Cause
And
I
the
hated
Cowboys
watching
of the
my
early
brother-
90s.
And
My
before
brother
that,
was a
see, I-
Titans fan.
when I was a
and
kid,
that
it was
game
like all the
nuts.
Montana Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Elway got a couple, and I couldn't stand
Well, Elway was kind of right in my wheelhouse. The Elway, because Favre and the Packers beat us in '96. That was the first time the Patriots were ever good in my lifetime.
right.
They beat us. We had the lead at fucking halftime at that game too. But damn, it,
28
we had
to
no.
3
They were
is
better
always
than
a
us.
memory
They were
'cause
better than us. But
I thought there was no way that the Falcons could blow that one.
oh, the 28 to. I mean, come on. Now
Yeah.
you're in my wheelhouse. Here's my thing. Besides that first Super Bowl with the Packers, every Super Bowl that the Patriots have been in, with the exception of the last one with the Rams, they were some of the best games that
Like-
ever.
Giants Patriots, I loved. Sorry,
I did not.
I know
I
you
did
did,
not.
but I don't. I kind of like the obnoxiousness of the 72 Dolphins, and I didn't want that Patriots team to be that obnoxious because I hated Harrison and PED cheat and he and Teddy Bruschi and
Oh,
all those guys on
What Teddy Bruschi do to you?
uh,
My favorite thing is Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi came back from a stroke,
yeah,
and he co-won comeback player of the
Yeah.
year with Steve Smith, who had
Steve
a broken leg the
Yeah.
year before. Came back from a stroke, co-MVP. Get out of here.
back when
Anyway.
one of the conferences was more dominant in either way, I'd always try and talk myself into the other team winning. Like I
Yeah.
remember the I think it was the Denver Atlanta Super Bowl where Dan Reeves was coaching. It was the
Dirty Bird. Jamal
I thought
Anderson.
Atlanta
Was
had a
that was his
shot
name?
here.
Jamal Anderson.
Yeah, Atlanta. They got ran out.
They
of
beat the
fucking building.
15-1 Vikings, right? They beat
Yeah.
the 50 because
Yeah.
Norm was that old kicker. Norm missed that kick, and Norm Anderson for the Falcons hit the kick to bring them
Yeah.
to the Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
who was the single bar
Gary
Vikings kicker?
Gary Anderson. Yeah.
He choked. He missed one. And the Vikings were 15-1
Ball was cold
that
that day
year.
too,
Like,
kids. That was a
holy
rock.
shit,
He had
man.
to kick. Yeah.
I remember that Super Bowl. I remember very fondly the 28-3. I actually think the best Super Bowl the Patriots were ever a part of was the Seahawks game in
The one they won or the one
2016.
they lost. Oh, wait,
Yeah,
no, Seahawks
that-
didn't.
No,
Seahawks
the
didn't beat them. The
No,
Seahawks beat
Russell
the-
Wilson threw the pick at the goal. I actually
Yeah,
think
no.
from a game perspective,
No, I was trying to remember who the Seahawks beat for their Super Bowl.
Denver.
Denver. They smoked
Denver?
They
them
killed
43 to
Peyton
8.
43 to
Oh,
8.
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
they killed Peyton.
That first snap that went over his head.
Yeah, he
it was
went
just
over
like,
his head.
ah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh shit. They
The
beat
Saints win, I
crap.
remember being
The
fun.
Saints win against Peyton and the Colts was very good. That pick six, Tracy Porter was his name. That
I mean,
pick
the most
six was
dominant
huge.
one. I actually, I was 13 at the time, but the Bears over the Patriots.
Oh,
that
slaughter.
86 defense,
Slaughter.
which was for real.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you just seeing refrigerator Perry in the backfield,
Yeah, rushing.
and you're just like,
Well,
now
they
they're
said
just-
Mike Ditka had always said his biggest regret was not giving Walter Payton a touchdown in that Super Bowl. That was his one of his biggest regrets because he put Fridge in there and gave it to Fridge, and he was like, obviously he was saying this after Walter had got sick and passed and all that stuff.
team,
But
that
unbelievable.
that
They
Bears
should have
team
went
was
undefeated, really.
fun. I mean,
They should've
you had the Buddy Ryan defense. You have Jim McMahon at quarterback.
Yeah.
That
They
was
did
really
the
the
Super Bowl
first
shuffle
Super
that
Bowl
year.
shuffle.
Yeah.
Peyton.
Yeah.
I mean, Mongo was on that team. I
Mhm.
mean, that team was. that
You
team
mean
was-
wrestling legend
Singletary
Steve
was on that
Mongo
team.
McMichael?
Oh yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other.
Like
The
I
one that
said-
you mentioned with the Steelers and the Cardinals, that last. Everyone talks about the Santonio, and again, I don't like the Steelers at all.
No.
Everyone talks about the Santonio Holmes catch. I was always someone that thought it was a better throw than it was a catch.
Yes.
They're both excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent catch, excellent throw. Roethlisberger literally threw that like inches over the fingertips of three separate defenders
I mean, if
directly in the corner where literally Santonio Holmes could only catch it on his tippy.
if you want moments that haunt me forever, Benny Blades dropping an easy interception before Montana threw it to Taylor in the second Bengals, and then of course the last play of the Bengals Rams Super Bowl where Jalen Ramsey had fallen down and Jamar Chase was wide open, and all he needed was half a second to get that ball out, and I'm just like, damn it! But I did like that opening, the opening play of the second half there, where they got him alone. Even though they were like, that looked like a false start. Oh, they're all complaining about it. He just threw the ball down there, got the touchdown, and I thought we might actually win one. That was nice.
Pluggo, any other favorite
I don't
Super Bowl
have any
moments?
fond memories of Super Bowl in the sense that like I don't ever have a team that's in it.
The Bills losing 4 in a row, that was fun.
The Bills losing for it. But I mean, for me, it's just always comes down to good games. And I liked, you know.
All right.
I liked the Seahawks.
I like good games until my team's
Eagles
involved, and then I
game
want to
that
blow
you-
out on my end.
I was a big fan of that Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens Super Bowl Eagles team that did
That was fun.
That was a fun time.
who
I'm
they lose
always
to?
in. Who was it? Oh
Who
my
was that
gosh,
team?
I'm blanking.
Yeah, I think it
Wasn't
was Tom
that the
Brady.
Patriot?
I
Yeah, you
think
know,
so, yeah.
I was a huge fan
Thought
of
so.
that. I was.
That was
always-
actually the most boring Super Bowl of all of them, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I always just root for good games. I never.
Yeah,
like,
I
'cause
agree.
Again, I don't have a dog in the fight, so that's.
I
why
root for
said-
well officiated games.
well
Yeah,
officiated
that matters
games.
too.
I
I
hate
root
to
for
see.
the food. Damn it!
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the
Brian
early-
Dable was just named the NFL Coach of the Year.
I'm trying to think of the name.
Brian
That's an
Dable.
interesting choice.
Yeah,
I mean, because
I
he
just got
he
that
did well. He
ESPN.
did well early, and then he struggled a bit later, and then they turned.
These
it
are
around.
regular seasons awards, right? They don't.
Yeah,
They don't
Yeah,
vote for this stuff because obviously
vote
they
after
won the
last-
playoff game.
Yeah,
too,
they vote
which is
after
a
the
big
last
deal.
game of the season.
Yeah. So, you know. All right. So before we plug our stuff real
I would have
quick,
given it to the Eagles coach.
yeah, I would think they like I said, have
Sirianni.
been the best team literally all year.
Yeah.
All right, best Super Bowl halftime show of your life, Jeff. That you think? What was your favorite Super Bowl halftime show?
I'm going with Prince.
Yeah, it was a good one. That was a good one.
In the Rain.
Yeah.
How are you not going for Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake?
Well, because we weren't all 13-year-old pervs like
I was older at
Pluggo.
the time.
Jeez Louise.
Remember, I'm much older than you guys, so it's one of those things. Where
I
it's
think Warren is agreeing. Prince, no question. Prince,
Yeah.
no question.
Prince was dope. Prince was dope.
I did like
But-
the Gaga one though. I thought that one
I
was
did too.
solid.
I
And
like
Bruno
Lady
Mars-
Gaga.
last
I like
year,
Bruno Mars.
hit
I
all
thought
the
last
fields.
year's. I know last year's was really good too.
all the
I
I've
think
yet to watch
Prince.
that.
I think Prince probably is the good the good choice. And I'm not picking this one. I'm picking this one for two reasons. Not because I like the band, because they're fine, but I don't. But
Up with people.
2001, the U2 with the names of the people from 9/11, and just obviously the Patriots were involved, so there's that's like a different meaning for me as well. But that one with that performance, that was the year that U2 kind of came back with the music in the public eye, and just the honoring of the names with 9/11, and just obviously that's a very special Super Bowl for me. That's the first time a sports team from where I lived won anything. So, but that one obviously holds a special place in my heart. I thought that was really well done.
I'm looking at a list
he opened
of
his jacket
shows
and he
how
had the
bad
American
they
flag
were.
in it and stuff. Michael Jackson, it was a little before my time, but Michael Jackson had a real good one in the early 90s.
I didn't realize how late we got into the 90s before we started having good halftime shows.
Did Justin Timberlake do one after?
Yes.
Did
Yeah, Timberlake did one. Yeah.
That was pretty solid.
He came
if
back.
I remember
He
right.
came
Yeah,
back.
he came back, and that was like, I think everybody was like, "Is in sync? Is he going to
Yeah.
spin?" Yeah, I remember that one. That was pretty.
I remember
Beyonce-
the weirdest one was the 97 one here, because I'm looking at this, the Blues Brothers.
Really?
when they of Aykroyd and Goodman and Jim Belushi.
Oh, when they were coming back with the movies again?
Yeah.
Really? They were the halftime show?
In Louisiana Superdome. Blues Brothers Bash.
Best halftime show of all time is Rock vs. Mankind, Empty Arena.
Oh, yeah, the Empty Arena match.
I kind of
baby.
miss
Let's
the
go.
counter programming.
I miss halftime heat. I watch that shit every year.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did that for
there
those
was-
few years.
Or the Beavis and
Halftime
Butthead
Heat.
ones.
The Beavis
Yeah,
and
Beavis and
I was
Butthead
gonna
did ones.
say,
That was very cool too.
Yeah, good halftime shows really didn't start. I mean, you can count 99, but maybe 2000. So it's only been about 20 years. Because before it was like I'm looking at the ones from like when I was 15, 16, or like even 91. It's like salute to It's a Small World. It's like that sounds
That's
lame to
weird.
me.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
That's awesome.
But I would say Prince is a really good one. U2, Beyonce, friggin' Turn the Power Off.
A lot of people like the Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce
one. I think
Springsteen,
that's overrated.
Yeah. And then who else? They had The Who was one of them.
Madonna. I forgot about the Madonna one.
I think Timberlake came back and did something with. What was he involved with? Timberlake did come back and
he did one
guest.
with either Beyonce or something like that.
I agree, Warren. The Who, not good. That was not.
Oh no, he did his own.
Timberlake did his own.
Yeah, he
did his own in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, not too long. I was gonna say, I remember.
Wow.
Because you have to
More coming in
understand,
hot.
these Super Bowl halftime shows.
Warren
Lot
probably
of my
like Maroon
interest is
5 or
gauged on
something.
how excited Mrs. Pluggo gets for the halftime shows.
Yeah.
And that one was that was her. She was crying and dancing.
Katy Perry's was weird. I remember.
Katy Perry's had the shark, the left
Yeah,
shark.
the
Left
shark.
shark.
That shark got famous. That left shark.
Yeah.
Fuck
wow.
off, Hawkins. Jesus
Wow,
Christ.
Mr. Warren Hayes.
Warren, not
He's
a Maroon
offended that you
5
said he liked
fan.
Maroon 5.
I know,
I would
sorry.
be too. I would be
That's
too.
it. One
That-
of these,
that-
one
no,
of these
that-
nights,
no.
we're booking
We're gonna have to have a
Hawkins.
face-off.
Justified. He
We're
was
gonna have a
justified in he was
Yeah.
justified in his
We're gonna have to have a
strong language on
face
that
off.
one.
It's gonna have to be Jeff.
We
versus
haven't had
Warren.
a
No,
face-off.
let me offer my public apology for accusing Warren of being a big Maroon 5 fan. Because
When he
I
took-
just
when he-
assumed
when he
he
took that
watched The
shirt off.
Voice for Adam Levine. I thought, This Love was really heavy on his playlist.
This love has Sorry, what? Sorry, I was getting lost
They're
in the
so
Levine.
lame. I fucking hate Maroon 5 so
Oh,
much.
boy,
My first album was fine.
That-
Relax.
that was going so well. He says it was going so well. Oh, anyway, all right. What a way to end.
I'm putting
What
on
a
the
way to
internet
end.
that Warren loves Maroon 5.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Read it.
Oh no. All right,
Yeah,
Jeff.
confirm.
Thanks for joining.
No problem.
You're welcome anytime. Oh no, Warren is not happy.
brother.
He's not happy. Oh no. Let the people know where they can find you.
Warren was Shakes and Ropes guest, Warren Taylor. I'll pull
Yeah,
up
there
my
you go.
show through him.
Let the people know what. Yeah.
I am at Crap Game 13, mostly doing snarky, dumb, arcane references and talking about how I like 80s wrestling. I do a show on Voices of Wrestling called Shake Them Ropes. Get a little snarky there. This week we'll be talking probably Oh God, what are we going to talk about this week? Maybe a little Jerry Lawler, maybe a little.
Yeah.
Maybe just how the angles are going. We'll talk about Cody a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. Since we've kind of been through 2 pay-per-views, so it's just kind of like, okay, whatever happens in the next day and a half, we'll do that. Find that on all your podcasters. I also do a show called the Dynamite Show on the Fight Game Media Network. I'm going to plug this. We might have a special guest this week. Patreon.com/FightGameMedia. If you like tag team wrestling, you might want to check out next week's show. I can't promise that we're going to get these guests, but we might. And if you know my love for stupidity, you'll know who I'm talking about. And then occasionally I'm on Fightful. I'm on the bench.
You have Warren Hayes coming on your show.
No, I've had Warren Hayes on the show.
Just,
and
just,
I owe him one now.
Just fueling the
Warren,
fire.
I can't believe you're getting Dennis
I would
Condrey.
love Dennis Condrey. I want to talk to Dennis Condrey about how he left NWA twice at the peak of the Midnight Express's run.
He says, I know you would. I know. You would.
But
we got to make this
Turbo Floyd or Turbo Truth Magnum.
Is that who you're hoping
Turbo
for?
Floyd?
You're hoping for the Outrunners?
Yeah, possibly.
That'd be awesome.
Well,
that'd be awesome.
Make it happen, Outrunners.
Yeah. Pluggo, let the people know where they can find us in between 2 beards. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Pluggo _ on all the social medias. Just search Pluggo. You'll see this face. You can find Between 2 Beards at B2 Beards on all social media. Stay tuned. You never know when we'll pop up, what we may doing. Sounds like we've got to settle this beef here one of these weeks on Thursday. So hopefully we can get these 2 in a room and sort it out.
I'm not getting in a room with that dirty Canadian.
Wow.
This is
Geno Smith was just named the comeback player of the year.
it's a
Geno Smith.
Yeah.
But yep, that's where you can find us.
All right. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on the Twitter and the Twitch machine. You can find me here every Thursday at 10 a.m. in the mornings talking all things AEW with Firmly AEW with our friend Drew Nicholas. You can find me here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. doing the Beards thing with my boy Pluggo right here. And we always have our friends and our guests popping in, whether it be Warren, Jeff.
I may not be a friend anymore.
No, with, I don't know about your friendship with Warren now, but with us, you're still a friend, man.
Hey,
Warren and I will have makeup sex and get it over with.
There it is.
Both of your guys' Spencer Love checks cash.
No.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure money. Yeah. It's like CM Punk and the Elite. We'll figure this shit out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, you can find me here on Thursdays. Give us a follow here. Give us a subscribe here at Love Wrestling. We appreciate all the love. Warren's per usual. I think that's to the makeup sex, to be honest with you.
While listening to Maroon 5.
Absolutely. It's the only way Warren does it, I've heard. So it's just it is what it is. Yeah.
One more night by Maroon 5.
Is it one? I don't even know that one.
And we'll make Sweet
Love.
He's
like one more night.
No. That's Phil Collins. That
is not Phil. He's like, want to be with you.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna end the show, everybody. That's how we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all. We're getting out of here. Jeff, always a pleasure. We will see everybody next week, and until then,
I kill shows.
Peace out.
Get yourself